What up, homies? It's your boy Stev. Today I'm with my sister Ash.
Hi.
And cinematographer, filmmaker Derrick Glenn.
Hey, what's up?
And we are talking 24,
24
of 24.
24.
Nailed it. Which, for people who aren't paying attention, we're doing our top 24 movies of the year 24. So all three of us pick 8 movies.
It worked out this year. Everybody gets a fair shake. Like,
right?
Everybody gets 8.
It's also an interesting thing because we all actually picked 8 different movies.
What?
So
weird.
it was
But
like,
there's
shit.
There's no overlap.
There was only one overlap, but it was one of yours. Like, if these 8 aren't taken or disqualified, pick the next one.
Oh, yeah.
So that's the only reason why it was an overlap. But,
Oh, okay.
Because we should talk about we disqualified Godzilla Black and White.
What? Oh, yeah, that's fine. I figured it would get it's technically last year's movie, but I really liked it. It released this year on Netflix in black and white. They call it like G-1 like .0/C whatever. Like it's I don't think black and white movies or taking a movie that was originally done in color and then doing it in black and white. It shouldn't technically count, I think, as a whole new movie, but it was still pretty good for like this year in movies. Like I still like Godzilla -1 a lot. I was hoping it would make it, but I understand. That's fine.
Just saying, say that to the Swifties when she released Taylor's version. Same lyrics and songs, okay?
Ashley's like, what?
The sequel matters. The sequel matters.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Ashley's top 3 are now Eras Tour.
Are we talking about the Eras Tour this year?
No.
Okay.
No, please
Good.
don't get me started. Just go with movies.
So our list today is going to be completely random. We have 24 movies. They are in no particular order. We're just going to kind of talk as we talk. Does that make a lot of sense?
Yeah.
We're also spoilers. What do you guys think? So I'm thinking if one of us hasn't seen the movie, maybe we dance around spoilers a little bit. If we've all seen the movie, we can maybe talk about it, but maybe not too much. Maybe not deep dive, but
yeah, I think
chat.
if we've all seen it, I'm excited to talk about cool things. But yeah.
Well, we can't really deep dive into 24 movies because then
right?
this is going to be 4
8 hours long.
Yeah. So quick points here and there, get it, get out kind of thing. Yeah,
This is going to compound over the years. We're going to have to get better and more brief.
Yeah, we're going to get way better at this.
Good movie, liked it. Okay, next. Yeah.
Nosferatu, great movie. Yeah, vampires. So next, just
you know what?
Let's
start it out.
Yeah, kicking it off with Nosferatu.
Ashley picked it. So this is actually on Derek's list.
I was going to say, I did not pick this movie.
But Ashley threw the name out. Let's throw it out. Yeah. Nosferatu.
Yeah, did you see it, Ashley?
Yes.
On the list. What do you guys think?
He brought me to the movie theater, and he's like, I want to see this movie. And he told me the whole backup of the story, and I was like, sounds amazing.
Well,
he fell asleep.
I did fall asleep.
Steven never falls asleep in the movies, ever. And then I was pushing it. I'm like, I got to get up. So I went to the bathroom just to wake up. It was horrible.
My gosh.
There was a point where I fell asleep for 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
It was, it was just, I don't know. There was a point in the movie where I'm like, this is a pinch boring.
It's so slow.
Oh, yeah?
But I did like the movie. It was my like number 9, 10. It was so it would be on this list probably no matter what.
Yeah.
I know you didn't like Aaron Taylor Johnson in it. I thought he was great.
Yeah, I think anything that he's doing in it, it's like, okay, and not just that movie. I feel like sometimes he's not giving enough as an actor. He's doing like himself in a weird way. And no, it's not that I didn't like him. It started that I'm like, oh, he's in it. He's not going to try hard. I'm expecting like not a good performance, but what happens to him? We've all seen this one, right? So when his family succumbs to like Dracula or whatever, he actually gives like an actually pretty interesting performance for me. I'm like, whoa, he's actually got like, I know he's got like chiseled good looks or whatever, but I feel like that's kind of what they're relying on when they hire him. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, he has chops, and that's really exciting because like I know he's talented. It's just I feel like people don't use him to his full potential a lot of the time. They're just, we got him. So
he's a name. He's like a name.
That's it.
Get,
like
right?
to see him, I'm like, wow, I can't believe they got him. But like I don't know, he did okay. I thought he did well.
I'm not a big fan of Nicholas Hoult, just in general. I think he's okay. He was in a movie recently called The Order, which was 2024, not on the list.
I wanted to ask about that one because I just watched it and I'm like, it didn't rank anywhere near. If it counts as a 2024 movie.
I
It
think it
didn't
counts
make top
2024.
10, but
Yeah.
yeah, he was okay in that. I thought, but yeah,
That's the best I've seen him in a while. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know, he's usually very just like to me. And this movie, same thing. Nicholas Hoult plays like the main guy, pretty much. Bill Skarsgård's awesome as fucking Dracula, or whatever you call him.
transforms
Count
himself again, which I think is
Yeah.
really impressive. I don't recognize like I don't even get a good read on Dracula a lot of the time. Like I'm like, yo, is that a mustache, bro? Like
Yeah,
what
it's
the
like the
I think it's a very cool take on Dracula. Like, and partly why I like this movie so much is I think that it is for how unusual he might look for Dracula or how he might behave. I think the movie's very much trying to make this his movie. It's very much like his. There's one scene in it I really love because it kind of it really tangles up well with the end and how like the movie ends. But he says to Nicholas Holt's character, he's like, I am like hunger, I am an appetite, that's all I am.
Yeah.
And when you see him at the end of the movie and he's like literally like just like skin and bones, it's like whatever is piloting him, like this demon has like sucked up his whole body, and it's almost tragic. It's like the whole movie he's like scary and like menacing, but the end shot I'm all like, oh buddy, like I'm a little like torn. Like I know he's evil and I know it's like it's bad, but like I feel for him still too. There's like a tragedy, and
Yeah.
I think it's I don't know.
There's a moment in the movie. So Nicholas Hoult, it's pretty early on, goes to the village before he goes to the castle.
Yeah,
And there's like the group who are villagers.
the gypsies. I
Yeah,
assume,
and they're
right?
all like dancing and stuff. And then you meet like the really badass dude with the cool entrance, right? And then at night he wakes up because he hears noises and he goes to the middle of the woods and they kill a vampire. And then after that, they just disappear. And I was expecting them to come back at the end, and they just never did. I'm like,
Yeah.
why couldn't we follow that group? That's the best part of the movie to me. This is who the movie should be about. Like,
Yeah.
that's my biggest issue with the movie.
That's fair. I think like I would have liked to seen. Okay, so Nicholas Hoult is like witness to like a different style of like vampire encounter or like undead encounter. That's valuable information that I feel like needs to get brought to like Van Helsing's character, like Willem Dafoe's like version of Van Helsing, but he doesn't quite do a good enough job, I think, of like transferring whatever information's over, or like send one of the gypsy guys, like one of them comes along for the adventure too, or whatever. Like they could have done something with that, I guess, but like
the gypsies could have saved him from the water instead of like nuns. Like, wouldn't
Yeah.
that have made sense? Like, oh, you went after them. We saved you. Get the fuck out of here. Or like maybe we'll go with you. Like who knows? Like,
anything. It's like yeah, I don't know. I'm like I could take it or leave it. I'm like I'm also into like the weird like rituals that he's like witness to. It's just he kind of fizzles out towards the end, and I think this is what kind of this is my biggest beef with it, let's say, is how they choose to fight the monster at the end, because you need like a monster fight.
Yeah.
I feel this kind of like unfair to like the love that they have. There's one scene, it's kind of maybe boring. I don't know. You say you fell asleep. I'm kind of curious to know when you
did.
fell asleep on it.
Oh, I think it's the commute.
The commute?
yeah.
Oh, like on his way to the thing or whatever? Yeah.
yeah.
First of all, I want to just say, normally Dracula has like ladies, like hot ladies, like maybe naked or scantily clad or whatever. This one, they're like, no, he's got bitches. They're just dogs. And I'm like, you know what? I like it. I don't need to see like sexy ladies, but those gypsies and that ritual later fills that like sexy lady void. So it's like Robert Eggers is like, he's still like treating me like as I expect to be treated in a Dracula movie, and I need some of that stuff, I guess, or whatever. But my point. Okay, wherever you fell asleep, whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, shit, what was I saying?
So the only thing I want to say about with Nosferatu before we move on. So the story I told Ashley before we even got there is the actual true story of the original Nosferatu. So Nosferatu was created back in like the 20s, I believe, right? 20s or 30s. Maybe it was actually earlier than that. But anyway, it was very, very obviously based off of Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Like the book.
Yeah, the book, which was still under copyright though. So the estate of Bram Stoker sued the movie company, and a judge ordered that every single copy of the movie be burned. And every single copy was burned except for one.
Love that
Some
story.
person
Love it.
smuggled it out, and that's the only reason why we even have Nosferatu. The only reason why we have a remake of Nosferatu. Do you know what I mean? So I love that. I love that idea. So I told her that story on the way, so she was kind of pumped weirdly for like this movie.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
And then she sees the movie, and then on the way home, she's like, "Why didn't they make that into a movie?"
Yeah, actually, you might really dig. I don't know if you've seen. Is it Shadow of a Vampire? Is it the one where Willem Dafoe plays like Nosferatu, but he's actually like he's an actual vampire?
Yeah.
It's like documentary. Like they shot with an actual vampire, and he's like eating people, and they're like feeding him people and stuff. That I don't know, whatever.
Jesus.
That reminded me of that. No, it's fun. It's supposed to be like a dark comedy. It's great.
Oh,
So-
okay. I'm like, holy crap. I
Anyway,
love Willem
yeah.
Dafoe, though.
Yeah. And he's great in this. I will say, I like him. Oh, the scene. I wanted to mention this. There's one scene where the girl, I forget her name, it's played by Johnny Depp's daughter and Nicholas
Lily
Hoult.
Rose Depp, yeah.
He's like ill and drained of a lot of blood, and he's like leaning on her as they're like walking through like the town as like it's in chaos or whatever. And I thought that was like a really, although it's like him like being weak or whatever, it's like a really symbolic scene of like their love. Like she's willing to like, even though she's not well, she's willing to like support him as they like wander through the streets together. I'm like, wow, like their love is actually like really strong. It's good visualization. I'm expecting a good monster fight at the end, and then she's like, no, I'm gonna use my body to like make him like just keep eating me until the sunlight comes up, and then we're like, I'm gonna die, like pretty much. And you're like, oh, that's kind of like, it's sad, but I think the payoff is the final shot of the movie.
Final shot's amazing.
And
It's
I
an
think the
amazing
final
shot.
shot is worth it for me. And I'm like, whatever, he'll find another girl. Like there's other, like plenty of fish, man. Like,
Terrible.
I will also say, I think it's really cool when his ship crashes into town. He uses like the plague rats as like part of his way to like spread disease, but it also creates just confusion around everyone to the point where he could be biting people and like it's like rat bites, who knows? And I'm like, I think that like layer of the movie was like really cool. He really loved Dracula, I could tell, and he made Dracula the coolest thing in this movie.
Yeah.
I think, where everyone else is like really afraid the whole time. You're like, whoa, this guy.
All right, moving on. One of Ashley's movies. Since we're on horror, we might as well just let's keep the horror train going.
Segue.
Long Legs.
Yeah.
Oh. This was your pick? You like this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think, Ash? Let's talk.
It was the only thing I can say is like we watch a lot of horror stuff, and I love originality, and it never comes around anymore.
Yeah.
So watching this, I was like, this is creepy.
Like this is a movie.
The face shot was definitely a letdown for me.
Yeah.
I thought the scene was. Have you seen it?
I've seen it actually. So, what face shot are you talking about? The scene where
Where he's
Nicolas
sitting at the
Cage
desk.
chews scenery and then rips his nose open?
Yeah.
okay.
But like,
okay.
so you're like, oh, that's kind of a letdown, and then just boom, boom, and you're like, holy fuck! Like it just kind of like, I was disappointed, and then I went, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Yeah, I actually did. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was really interesting. I think I was kind of disappointed. I forget how we filmed it. I think we were disappointed at first, and then the next day, we thought about it more.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
And we were kind of like, oh, you know what? It actually wasn't that bad.
It stuck with me for a little while. It was
Yeah.
like this. So
I had to think about it for a few days.
Yeah, there's one scene in the movie that I think ruins it. The scene where he goes to the hardware store, and he's like just buying stuff, and he's kind of acting weird, and the girl kind of makes fun of him, and it's like
The weird guy is, or the creepy
Yeah.
guy is here. Yeah.
any tension that you've built up or any like mystery that you've built up for this villain
It
kind of
deflates
just
it.
dissipates, and you're
Yeah.
like,
'Cause
okay.
now you're trying to feel bad for him.
Yeah, it's like it's just an odd choice. That was my only issue. Everything else about the movie I think is fucking excellent. It's got like Seven vibes, you know what I mean? Like really dark. It takes place in the 90s.
Yeah,
I liked the twist. I didn't see that coming.
Oh yeah, actually, the little girl's birthday. I
I
could
saw
sense
that
it
shit
early.
coming a mile
I'm like,
away,
oh,
yeah.
good, like girls and their birthdays. How about that? I wonder.
No,
I wonder if
I
that's
meant
where
like
it's gonna.
the basement. Him being in the basement.
Oh, that was actually a great twist. That was a great twist that wasn't punctuated at all.
I didn't know.
Like-
I didn't think that was gonna. You saw that coming?
No, not that I saw it coming. It's just like I'm shocked that like for an investigative like person, you don't like check your own house like
It's
sooner.
your mom's
Well, it's
house.
her mom's house.
Yeah, but like,
Like-
I wouldn't think about my mom's house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see what
like,
you're saying.
I like there's a scene specifically earlier in the movie where like she's near that door or whatever and she doesn't go in, and I'm like maybe check it. And I thought that then. I'm like, she didn't go. It's interesting. But whatever. Like, the movie needs to play out how it does. Like, I think it's fine. You say it's original. It gave me Twin Peaks vibes.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Like clearly there's something unseen operating, and we're only getting like bits and pieces of it like through this girl. And for me, my favorite stuff was her at the beginning when she's like it's this house, and they go in, they're actually like hot on the trail. My whole thing is like, is she actually psychic, or is she just connected to this specific case? Like, I think I like her more as like a super psychic, like entangled in this case, and then like I could see her on more adventures like going like psychically, but I don't think it's that kind of movie. So it's like, I don't know, whatever. It was a fine movie. I went and saw it. I was scared. It reminded me a lot of Twin Peaks. I don't think Nicolas Cage does it for me though. In this one, he reminded me of Daryl Hannah. He's creepy, but like, I'm like, what's with this nose? Until then he busts it open, and I'm like, oh, I feel like there's other movies he's done better performances in, but I see how much people like love this movie. Like I liked his performance. Like it's like it looked good. I thought it was kind of maybe more hyped than what I got for it. But whatever.
I thought it was fun. I thought he was fine. Like I said, that one scene kind of ruins him for me. But other than that, I thought it was great. The real fucking hero of the movie is Alicia Witt as the mom. She's fucking so good. Like as like she's she's great, and then the end scene, you're like, oh, she's fucking so like excellent in this scene. Like,
yeah.
So as the act, like the true villain, I guess, of the movie. But like, that's just me. I don't know.
Good. Well, okay, no, that's it. Yeah, I am.
The main girl is also fantastic. The Micah Monroe.
I like her a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
I like her a lot.
She's great in It Follows. She's great in this. She's great in The Guest. Like I think she's awesome.
Did you say It Follows?
Yeah.
It's the same girl.
I thought if that movie came up again, and I'm like, I gotta watch that movie again because I shit on it so hard the first time I watched it, and Steve loves it.
It's just a good, well-made
Wait,
movie.
have you come around to it? Like, have you come around to It Follows, or you still don't like It Follows?
I hadn't watched the second time yet.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But I came up recently on like a movie list, and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch that movie again. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
It's good.
It's just funny that you brought it up.
Yeah, for sure. I hear you. Moving on. Another, not necessarily a horror movie, but a thriller. One of my picks. Blink Twice.
Oh yeah.
Anybody?
I saw it. Yeah.
I really like this movie. It's fucking good.
Yeah.
So directed by Zoe Kravitz in her
That's pretty
directorial
cool.
debut.
Yeah.
Fucking stars Channing Tatum. Ashley's for
They were dating, weren't they?
they were dating at the time. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
It was originally called Pussy Island. Sorry, I just blew my microphone out saying that's
Yeah, the peas will pop
I
in.
know what movie you're talking about.
I like that title better.
I like that title better
Yeah,
too.
I feel like it's certainly like it kind of
It's like
makes
a
it more
whoa.
niche. It's like it's
Yeah.
really bold to like call it that. So you're kind of like, I don't know.
It's
if
like all
people
the
are-
celebrities or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what it's about?
I remember seeing the trailer.
Yeah, what it's about is a girl who's like very average who meets a celebrity who's like a billionaire who owns his own island, and he played by Channing Tatum, and he invites her to go to the island to like spend the weekend there with like him and his celebrity friends. So not celebrity friends, but like friends, like his lawyer and his like manager and shit like that. And there's a bunch of other girls who are like already there, and they all go, and it's just like things are just fucking weird, and it gets stranger and stranger, and it's like, and it gets to the point where like people just start disappearing, but nobody else remembers them, and it's like, it's like, what happened to that person? Like, who are you talking about? It's like, it's just odd. It's like an odd fucking movie. I think it's excellent. It goes to some fucking places at the end, so we can't really talk about it too much because I don't want to ruin it so much, but. It's on Amazon Prime. You can fucking watch it for free, I guess.
Yeah, actually, that's where I watched it. Too.
Yeah.
Pretty recent. I would say that like the last maybe a couple of weeks or so, it was on there. I'm like, I should check this one out. I was really excited for a Zoe Kravitz like directorial
me too.
debut or whatever. It's good. It reminded me in some ways, like I don't want to say like of like it's like of Get Out, but like that's the same thing where it's like you're trapped.
Yes.
You're trapped. You're isolated. You're something's not right. Days are like mashing together. Like is today like what day is
like
it?
how long have I been here? Yeah,
Right,
it's like one of
exactly,
those.
I
Like,
love
it messes with the timeline a little bit, and like at the same time, I would say there's two girls that are like getting wise to like what's going on. They have to like with what limited resources they have try to work their way off the island, and it's like it's exciting to see how they get to where they're like, are they going to meet their goal or whatever? It's worth checking out.
The main girl, I honestly have no idea I don't remember her really from anything. But the other girl,
that's what I'm saying. I like her a lot. I don't know her name though. Yeah, that's actress. She was in Hitman.
She was in Hitman,
yeah,
which is another movie from this year, not on the list though. So I don't want to bring it up too much.
Sorry.
But if you liked her in that, watch Hitman because she's the best part of Hitman.
I agree.
As well, actually.
I agree.
Like,
she's that actress is going places. I forget her name. We should know her.
I don't. It's not like a common name. It's like
that's okay.
It's a can't know every actor in 24 movies.
It's a double A. Listen. It's like Aja. It's like something like that.
Good job.
It's
okay,
like,
go look and Google it. That's it. We'll say.
I fucking butchered it. Don't hold that against me.
I think a podcast should at least be able to point you in the direction of where the information is. That's it. Yeah.
Wikipedia. Go.
Yeah.
It's a free app.
Yeah.
I want to talk about a movie, so we're gonna move on.
Okay, that was sorry. What was
Blink Twice.
Blink Twice. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's all I had to say. I thought it was like not bad for like an overall but I felt like it was still I don't know. Like I wanted more maybe out of Channing Tatum, maybe a little bit. I thought he was like
a good villain.
Yeah, that's it. But I don't know. Maybe I was expecting him to be a hero or something like that. But it's good to see him acting still. I want to say that too. It's like the group of people that they got was actually, I was surprised it was not a lot of people I would expect together on an island.
It's an interesting cast because you got Channing Tatum, Christian Slater plays the lawyer.
That's it. Yeah,
the kid from The Sixth Sense is like one of the best friends. But he's like older now. He's like in his 30s.
He's on TikTok. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah. And then the other guy, he's great. He's made a real comeback lately. He was in a movie called Red Rocket about 2-3 years ago, which was Sean Baker's last movie.
Okay.
And then he was in like Scary Movie 3. He's been in a lot of like just little shit, but he's fucking so good in this movie as like that girl, the hitman girl's like I guess boyfriend, but not really. No, it's fucking
that's okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, good.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the ending or no?
Yeah. Well, I do. I want to just say about the ending. I feel like
don't spoil too much.
Yeah. I feel like I was on her side until how she chose to the main girl obviously the outcome, I wasn't happy with her choice at the end. I'll just say like that. It makes her kind of
I don't even remember the ending.
That was vague.
I'm trying to make it vague so you don't I don't want to be like, you should watch this movie, except at the ending the outcome isn't good or whatever. It's just I feel like I don't know if that's a realistic choice for her to be to do what she does at the end. But I'm not going to tell you, keeping it vague, so you check it out for yourself.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
Moving on. I had a movie in my brain, but I lost it. Oh yeah, okay. I want to talk about a movie that's on Derrick's list.
Oh.
I'm gonna butcher this name though, so maybe you want to say it. The Remarkable Life of Ibelin.
Yeah, Ibelin. Okay, so it's a documentary about on Netflix, so you can watch it there for free if you want. But it's about a kid. Oh, I forget. He has sort of like a muscular atrophy problem, but it's something that it's doesn't start right away. As you get older, he pretty much got more and more unable to use his body to the point where he's just in a chair for most of his time. And it's tough because the movie starts off really strong. They got video of this kid walking around, but he's tripping on himself and falling. He doesn't quite. At first they think, oh, well, he's just a baby, whatever. But, it's actually he's, not able to, properly use his motor function, and he's going to start to lose it. So they show that off. As he's more, wheelchair-ridden, they give him a lot of, video game time. He's big into World of Warcraft, and he actually, has, a community, and, he has, friendships there. And what they do in the documentary, there's a point where they give you kind of the rundown, they give you the talking heads, the family, all that stuff. Then they kind of teleport you in the game after revealing to you that they have all the logs of all of his interactions with all the people that he's encountered and who he said to what when, and so they recreate those encounters in World of Warcraft, with World of Warcraft characters, but then they also interview the people on the other end that were encountering him and talking to him, and they talk about how he helps them in a weird way, and the things that he wasn't able to do in reality he was doing in like the game. Like, so he was going to like dragon fights and helping people fight dragons. He was also like a womanizer. He was also like wheeling a couple of women at the same time or whatever. And like it's kind of funny to see like the drama that it gets into. It's actually really real, and like it's never like so dramatic like a movie would be, but it is like he got into some trouble like with some women, and but was still also like a very like helpful dude. And he eventually passes away in the movie, but like so many people, like a lot of people reach out to him, and he also had a blog too, so they read from his blog and stuff like that. You just realize that even though somebody's maybe not physically capable of like doing a lot, like having all that access to the computer and like games and like people, the internet pretty much allowed him to do so much more that he wasn't able to do. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was crying, dude. Like there's a lot, like early it hits you hard, and then by the end you're like, oh my goodness, this is so. But it, like I don't know, it made me feel good.
Is it real or is it just a movie?
It's a documentary, so it's like it's.
Is it real?
It's real, yeah. So this guy, he might be, I forget the details, but he's like out of Europe somewhere, and like. Yeah, that's it. You check it out. I forget his name. I should know more now. I've watched it a little while ago, but like it's on Netflix, and like this is actually like the movie ends with his funeral, and like people that he played in the game like walk him out, like they carry his coffin and stuff like that and walk him out and stuff like that. It's heavy, dude.
That's super sad, actually.
But I don't know, like
super heartwarming. Though. Like,
it is.
You didn't watch it?
No, I've never seen it before. Actually, yeah.
It's actually I feel a lot of things like watching it and thinking about it. I'm also like. We're in an age now where like there are new breakthroughs with technology where people are like maybe they're able to live a different life, a different reality. Even if they're like their body's failing them, they can just go up into the computer and like live a new fantasy. Like we're on the edge of like more people being able to do that like more often and more frequently and stuff. So it's like I know that movie's pushing that, but at the same time like it's like that's the perfect like that's like a really sweet story to like tell with the help of Warcraft too. Yeah. Like that's like a lot of it is like World of Warcraft cutscenes, but it's like the dialogue that he spoke to that like person or to that character. It's like just replaying it for you or whatever. So it's pretty cool.
So there's another movie that came out this year that is not on the list. I was thinking about putting it on the list, but I decided not to. But I'd like to piggyback.
Yeah,
and just talk about it just a little bit, only because it's very, very similar. Called it came out pretty recently. It's called Grand Theft Hamlet. Okay, it's a movie that takes place entirely in Grand Theft Auto. So like you could in Grand Theft Auto Online, you can like set up cameras and you can film yourself like doing stuff. And it takes place during COVID, and it's about two actors who can't get work because it's COVID. So they have this weird. They're just playing Grand Theft Auto every day because they got nothing better to do, and they have this weird idea. It's like, what if we put on like? So they randomly find like an auditorium. It's like an amphitheater. Yeah. And they're like, what if we put on like a play because we're actors? And they decide to do Hamlet, and then they put out like a random cast, like a casting call, like in Grand Theft Auto. It's like oh, nobody's gonna show up, and a bunch of people show up. And they actually hold auditions in Grand Theft Auto, and they're like the one dude's an alien, and the one, you know what I mean? They all look ridiculous, and they're like
one chick's a hooker,
right? And that's it. And they're all shooting at each other, and they're all like blowing stuff up. But it's like, and they hold auditions, and what it is like, and then like, oh, we're gonna start like practicing, and then like, people show up every day, and like
what?
And it's just like this.
It's real.
Yeah, it's like this real, and it's like it's a movie that's very much about community and like people that can't go outside.
I got nothing better to do than be online at 2 p.m.
Right?
Fuck it.
But then it starts out pretty like, okay, yeah, this is pretty fun. And then about halfway through the movie, it becomes kind of something else. What happens is, I mean, without spoiling too much, what happens is they start lifting restrictions. So there's a lot of these people that could go back to work now.
And they do.
Right? So they're like, sorry, we can't be in your play anymore. Sorry. Yeah. And what it's about is, and so it's very much from the perspective of two guys who are best friends, and one guy couldn't care less because he's like, he has a family, he has kids, he's like, whatever. But the other guy has nobody, and it fucking hits him so hard when nobody wants to do Hamlet anymore. Oh. And it's like this, like it's like because that's what he's been thinking about for like months. Is like how we're gonna do this and like the logistics behind it. And now everybody's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like the guy who plays Hamlet, I can't do it anymore. I actually got a real job. I got it. So it's like it hits him so hard, and it becomes really fucking sad actually. So it's like I thought it was a pretty solid thing.
That's sad.
I put yours ahead because I thought it was a little more. I don't know why I thought like yours
Well, I don't know.
It was a little more important, if you ask me.
Maybe. Actually, I also realized I just spoiled the whole movie for you, so it's
whatever.
you don't even have to like watch it or whatever. But like,
You assume he's gonna. I'm gonna be.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's not
where this
looking
is going.
good, dude. They open it up really early. They're like, bro, he's not gonna make it very long. You're like, oh, that baby.
Minute one, you're like, why?
You're like, oh, But like at the same time, it's like they're like both of these movies have this theme of like, well, like, what are you capable of outside of your own reality, and like how attached can you be to that, or whatever, which is fascinating. You told me about this one too, and I'm gonna seek it out. I want to watch it because I think the little bit of time I've played in Grand Theft Auto, I think it's hilarious, and it's so hard to just even like drive in normal traffic without speeding. I don't know like how you're gonna do Hamlet. I don't know. That's impressive.
It's pretty silly. It's pretty funny, and like just the idea that like they're trying to like do auditions, and then some random person will run in and just start machine gunning people down. They're like, oh fuck. It's really funny. Like, like it's pretty fun. All right, next movie on the list. One of Ashley's movies, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Whoa, it made the list. Yes, I wanted to talk about this movie for so long. Yes.
So, little like, behind the curtain, we were gonna do a Deadpool Wolverine show. Derrick was pushing it so hard. He's like, come on, we gotta do it. And we almost did it. My problem was, I'm like, I feel like I'm just gonna shit on this movie. I don't know why.
I get it.
And it's not that like I hated it. I actually liked the movie. I just felt like there was more things to talk about in the shit column. I don't know how else to say it.
I get it. There's not as much good in the movie as there is bad. Like,
I
there's
guess,
no
but
bad.
I don't know what. See, here's the thing. It's been months now.
Yeah.
All I remember is the good. But at the time,
Yeah.
that's all I thought about was I don't know why. I couldn't even tell you what it is now. But
I will say the good that comes from the movie is hard hitting and like gets you deep. I think cuts you deep. But Ashley,
I will never forget that dog.
Oh, okay, yeah, the dog. Yeah, it's all because of the dog. Is it because of the dog? Yeah.
No. You know what? It actually is very rare. I have two on my list that the sequels are as good as the first ones, and that never happens for me. I honestly do believe this held up pretty good for me personally.
Good.
There were just as you guys said, like the good hit hard, and it's like Wolverine just holding the dog and walking through because nobody will shoot. Like, it's like just genius.
Yeah.
Like, I love him. I love Wolverine.
oh yeah.
That's a big draw. Like, that's exciting,
Wolverine
dude.
and the suit.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If there's one thing where I'm like, I have to see it just for the costume. It sounds so fucking stupid, but I've been waiting since the first X-Men movie to see him in yellow. Let's see the yellow blue. Come on.
Yeah,
and then he throws the mask on and you're like, yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have this costume tattooed.
Oh, yeah?
This is the exact one, little blue little spike on it. Yeah.
I do like his line too. He says like it only took 20 years or whatever to make it or whatever. You're like, yeah, buddy. And I think too that's like what is great about this movie for me is just how much it's like looking at the audience and ripping jokes like right to me, the fan, of like, hey, look at this. Hey, check this out. Oh, I can't believe we did that. I'm like, oh, these are funny.
Yeah.
I do think of the three Deadpools, its plot is probably the most like the weakest, but also I don't think the movie's concerned with its plot so much.
I don't think it's
like,
shit, yeah.
It's like it's entangled in with the Marvel universe, and like I think where the movie makes me the happiest is it's like with its cameos and how it kind of retroactively. I really love Blade. To see Blade there was really special for me because it kind of. I always wanted a Blade, like I wanted Wesley Snipes back in the Marvel Universe to kind of retroactively bring the Blade movies into the MCU, and this kind of did that, and like that's really exciting for me in like its own way, like maybe not a great way because they kind of go out like.
Dude, here's the thing. I was actually going to bring it up too, so I'm happy you did. Talk about demolishing Mahershala Ali's fucking Blade movie.
Yeah.
Like, they've been talking about this new Blade movie for fucking years. He even cameoed in the Eternals for a split second.
Did he cameo? Or was it his voice?
It was his voice.
Okay, yeah.
All of a sudden, Wesley Snipes comes back as Blade. All anybody wants to talk about is, hey, so when's Wesley Snipes coming back?
Bro, and I've been saying that like before. It's like Mahershala Ali when he like forced his way into Kevin Feige's office, whatever. It's like, guys, like, are we really gonna overlook Wesley Snipes? Like, is he not like good anymore?
He's
like,
so badass
can we do old man like Blade? Like, is that again off the table? Like, no, nobody wants to. Okay, whatever. That's right. But like to see him there, that really like was really special for me. I also really dug the opening fight scene with the bones, like defiling the body of Wolverine and like wearing his bones and using his bones to fight. I think that's a really
that was
cool.
It's
opening.
fucking cool.
Brilliant.
It's fucking
I was
cool.
like, man, this is a sick ride. I also really like the van fight that comes later. Like I
Yeah.
thought that was really
in the
like
car.
unique
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's where I'm like, I'm
Come
over it.
on.
I'm getting over this.
That
like,
was funny.
love Deadpool. Wolverine have to fight over
Yeah.
and over again. Okay, all right. That's right.
After that, I was like, okay, if you've done the van fight now, they need to be best buddies now
Yeah.
or whatever. And like by the time all the Deadpool show up, I'm over it then.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, or whatever. And it's like,
And then they get back up, and I'm like, okay.
can we just get to the part where like he's part of the Marvel universe now? Like it's like just I know what this movie's promised me, and it's kind of like it can deliver it however it wants. And I get that. I get why maybe we didn't discuss it when we did, but
Yeah. That's my. It was all my bad. I
whatever.
should have at the time.
Don't
I
worry
just
about
didn't.
it. I had more to say then too about it now.
Yeah.
Like you know what? I did revisit it not too long ago, and man, I was thoroughly entertained. I'm glad it's on the list because I think it's worth talking about. As far as like, okay, superhero movies, as far as I'm concerned, are like in this point where like either people are gonna get sick of them or like they need to like redefine or reinvent themselves. This movie doesn't necessarily do that so much as poke fun at like what's come. So it's like this movie gets a pass, whereas I think a lot of other superhero movies right now aren't doing too hot.
Yeah.
And I'd like superhero movies to continue to do better, so I'm happy that this one did good. But yeah, I don't know. I'll always go to a superhero movie. I love that there's a movie like this.
I hear
that,
you. Here's the thing.
gets to poke fun.
The cameos are amazing.
Yeah.
I love Chris Evans as Human Torch. It's probably the best part of the movie.
It's certainly a shock. I'm like, oh, cool. Like we're all missing him, like as Cap, anyways, right, or whatever. And it's like, oh, the Human Torch.
The joke is
Nice.
amazing.
Yeah.
The flame on. You're like, oh. And then he does the one of the best like stingers at the end.
Oh, I don't like this.
I love it. I think it's hilarious. I think it's so
said
funny.
it.
And he's like, you can quote me. Oh, I will. That's the best part.
Yeah.
And I will say before we leave, I think fucking Emma Corrin as the villain is so good.
I think so too.
She has that one line where she says she's gonna flick herself to the music or whatever. It made me laugh. I'm like, what? No, that's too much information. But I do think the movie needed to pick a villain, and like if it was her or like that other guy, I felt like they weren't enough of a villain for. Like I wasn't sure what they were doing at the end with the box and like unraveling reality. Like is her plan to just
I thought
kill everyone?
It's like
is
one
it-
of those things where you got the big like corporate villain, and then you got like the actual villain, and then the actual villain overtakes,
takes over the corporate.
You know, because the
villain,
corporate
yeah.
villain's kind of a punk. Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. You know, I think it was cool to see. I think it's like it certainly wasn't a villain I was expecting. I'm glad that like we get like Xavier's twin.
Yeah,
evil twin,
Casanova,
right?
whatever. Cassandra Nova.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's fucking excellent in it. And then I was gonna say one more thing, but it fucking slipped my mind. Oh, I guess X-23 is fantastic too.
Yeah, it's good she's there.
She's fucking good in it. Jennifer Garner's great. Actually, Channing Tatum again, Gambit.
Oh yeah, we're actually if we don't talk about Gambit, that would be
It'd be a
I like
disservice.
yeah, I like his one line. He's like, I feel like I've always been here, and which is
No,
like,
no. Yeah, no. It's like
He's like, I don't remember my past because he never had.
because he
one.
never had a
Yeah,
movie.
he's
Yeah,
always been
everybody's
there.
like, my world was like this. My world was like this. Like, I don't even remember my world because he never had one.
Yeah.
He has a line that has now become a meme, and it's one of the funniest things in the world. So what it is it shows like a buffet, and then it cuts to him. He's like, "Woo! I'm gonna make a name for myself." He's like, "People will tell stories of this day," and every time I see it, it's so funny. It's always just different buffets, and then it cuts to him, and it's so funny. I don't know, to me, like, it's a good one.
That's cool. It's cool it got a meme because that's like that will put like what's good about this movie will make it sink in the pop culture than what's bad. Like where I'm like, oh, the villain, or like, oh, the plot is weak. What doesn't matter. Like what's good about it is like stuff like Gambit.
It's
like,
true.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave on a negative thing. The only
No.
a big problem with the movie, in my opinion, is so Wolverine's supposed to be the worst Wolverine,
Yeah.
and they tell like the backstory, and I'm like, I don't even think it was that sad or bad. You know what I mean? Like, to be the worst Wolverine.
I don't know, and
I don't know,
I
but-
feel like they were also kind of just lifting from the Logan version of Wolverine. They like took like I was like, wait a second, it sounds an awful lot like the Logan version, but it's like not. It's like a different one or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like,
whereas
oh,
Logan was
yeah.
the best. So it's like, what are we talking about here?
What are we
Yeah.
doing? And like that whole whatever. It's fine. Hey, we need Wolverine in this movie. I would have much rather have him like just picked somebody at random or something like that, not being like an anchor bean. I think they called him an anchor bean or whatever. I'm like, so does that mean he's slowly altering the reality that he's in? Like if there's two, or like I don't like the movie's not interested in any of that, and you're like, whatever.
It makes up sci-fi things, and then it kind of just like whatever. We don't actually care.
It made me laugh. I like it. I like. Oh, and then the cut show at the end, like played to like the something unforgettable, and it's like all like the behind the scenes of all the X-Men movies from like I was like, oh, that makes me want to revisit all the X-Men movies now. So it's like it's good.
So you said something to me the other day where you're like, I saw this movie, and I'm like, how was it? Because I haven't seen it yet. Even to this day, I haven't seen it. And you're like, oh, it's the best superhero movie this year. So it's funny we were talking about Deadpool. I'm like,
good segue.
Let's segue over to this one. Another one of Derrick's picks, Sonic 3.
Yes.
Did you see it? I also didn't see it. I was going to watch it this afternoon, and I fucking didn't.
Okay.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. I want to hear your theory on why. I haven't seen it, though, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, and like it's my opinion, I guess. It's my theory, but I think for superhero movies, the way they've been behaving as of late, it's not what I like to see in a superhero movie. With Deadpool being like this weird like exception, I'm fine with it because it's kind of like roasting everything that's come before, and it's kind of trying to wrap it up and funnel it.
Yeah, definitely.
With Sonic 3, it's now the third iteration of like the Sonic movie, so we're into a trilogy now. But this is now kind of boiled down. The things that they did in the first movie and second movie, whether they're hit or miss, that kind of comes down to this movie. So let's say you hadn't seen any of the Sonic movies, I would recommend this one because it's everything you kind of get out of the other movies, but just with more characters, more action, and a good like story about just making the right choices. And you have like this parallel between Sonic, who's loved and he's surrounded by people who love him, and Shadow, who was loved but had it taken from him and now is turned to evil. So you have like this juxtaposition of like pretty much evil Sonic and like good Sonic, and they fight each other really early on in the movie. There's a lot of action in this, so it's when I say it's like the best superhero movie, Sonic counts as a speedster for me. So he's doing a lot of like flash things, like slowing down time. He has buddies, so they're like the Power Rangers. They're all bright and colorful. Like it's doing a lot of what superhero movies are doing. Yes, it's aimed at a slightly younger audience, but Sonic is also like this loved character that goes back to the 90s, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So you have a lot of like fan love and now like new fans. Like I took my kid to see it too, right? So there's like that. You're introducing new audiences. But I don't know. It follows, without spoiling too much, it follows a lot of the superhero tropes. Sonic has to make a decision to fight Shadow, but like also now team up with Dr. Robotnik, who's in this one too. Jim Carrey's in it. He's also in it as his great-grandfather or his grandfather, in doing like a double role. So it's like we're talking about like a blast from the 90s, like Sonic's from the 90s. Jim Carrey was like hot in the 90s. Yeah. This movie's really like a love letter to the 90s, but also I think doing a superhero speedster like superhero movie. And he has like really hard decisions to make at the end. Like, look, it's like most superhero movies, there's a lot that you have to kind of just be like, okay, I'm going to just let this slide. This is also aimed at kids, so there's a lot of goofy stuff that you might eye roll at, but it's better than Deadpool, I think, as far as like a story goes. Like the plot that I think is missing in Deadpool, Sonic delivered on, and like it, like, yeah, maybe it's a little like cookie cutter, but like I think it's a perfect story, and it's a lot of fun too. Jim Carrey does a lot of slapstick humor in it. Sonic's a little like snarky, whatever, like you like that. The other members of his team bring a little bit of extra humor to it, so there's a lot going on. Okay. Family friendly, like it's not too crazy, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's my favorite superhero movie this year. I think it does what superhero movies used to do. I think they're trying to experiment and do other things now, and it's not quite working. Yeah. So back to form, looks great. Okay. Also, there's a really sick fight early on with Sonic and Shadow. Shadow teleports. He doesn't quite speed, but he goes fast too, using like chaos energy. I'm told. I don't understand. The movie doesn't really explain it that well either. But there's a point where Sonic is chasing after this dude, teleporting through the streets of Tokyo, really fast, and he's teleporting on like a motorcycle, and the bike's going with him, and really cool. Like it's there's a point even too where Shadow does like this cool like Akira anime like motorcycle slide, and that they're doing a lot of like love letters to like old anime and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is it's a lot like Dragon Ball Z too. It's like so it's like I don't know. It's like it's everything that superhero movies used to do that are maybe they're not into now. This movies are really going for it. So highly recommend it.
I'll check it out. I didn't mean to. I was even gonna go with my niece one day, and we just it fell through for whatever reason.
That's okay. So. It came out at the end of this year too, so it's like I'm probably sure everyone feels like it's going to be like a this year movie because it came out like during Christmas last year. But highly recommend it. I want
to say it's on Paramount too. So
check it out. Yeah. And like you don't, I think like okay, certain things matter like story wise of 1 and 2 that kind of fold into this one. But like if you haven't seen the other ones, I wouldn't say they're required viewing. Yeah. Just check this one out. It's not. You don't need all 3 to like enjoy it. Good. So.
All right, moving on. One of my movies, the opposite of a kids movie.
Whoa.
We're going to talk about Saturday Night.
Oh.
Ashley, did you see it? No. Derrick, you saw it?
I did. I got to see it. Yeah.
So Saturday Night, it's about. It takes place in the 70s, I believe, and it's about the very, very first episode of Saturday Night Live, and it takes place the hour before taping. Or hour and a half, I guess, 2 hours before taping the first episode. So it's like this guy who is like really young Lorne Michaels, who's just trying to figure out how to run this episode. And then you really early on, you can pretty much figure out that like the studio wants him to fail. Like they don't want to make this show. Like they threw some money at him just to shut him up, and like they want him to fail so they could just put on reruns of Johnny Carson because they make more money off of that. And it's just so it adds to the pressure. And like
now they just celebrated
50 years. Right. So
and this is a real like story.
Yeah. So it's like the whole cast is like, and the whole cast is so hard to wrangle. Like you can't. They're all fucking comedians. They're all just assholes. You know what I mean? Like
they're partying, having a good time.
Yeah. It's very reminiscent of Birdman.
Well, it's not anything yet. It's just
and that's just it.
It's just like a made up thing at this point. So they're just fucking around.
There's a whole plot. Like John Belushi's like a main character in it, and like his plot is he refuses to sign the contract. So before he goes on air, and he's the first person on the first skit, he has to sign a contract. So his whole plot of the movie is Lorne Michaels is trying to get him to sign this contract, and every time he's right about to do it, he has a fucking meltdown for some reason, and he like runs away. So it's like there's just so many plot lines that like are real stories that happen. I thought it was a fun movie.
I agree. I think it's juggling a lot in like real time, and they all because everybody's working so closely together, you get to see everybody interwoven in how their stories like affect each other and stuff. And I was like, I'm really impressed with how intricate the movie is and how everything has to come together. The tension ratchets up, and I'm on the edge of my seat being like, like I know the outcome. I know what the history is. I know that. It's just, like it gets you there. And that's impressive. It also, like, if anybody's ever been, like, backstage before, like, if they've ever been in a play or, like, any kind of behind-the-scenes theatrical experience or whatever, this movie captures the chaos or that energy of what it's like to be like, okay, moments to show, like whatever happens, we're going out and we have to make it good or whatever. All that is layered in there, like on different levels, because in the control room, there's the execs being like, this better be good. On this level, like the lights, like they drop or whatever. It's like, dude, like at what point would you quit or throw in the towel? Like there's a lot to be like stressed out about. And I remember being like, hey, like I told my wife, like, that's what it's about. She's like, that sounds stressful. I think I'm out. She's like, I don't think I want to watch that. And I'm like, is it weird that that's like comforting to me? Like I'm excited. Yeah. I'm excited to watch all these people get all like wound up. I'm like, so I don't know. Here's for me, the only thing is like it ends with like an opening of Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, oh, like I wanted more. Yeah. Like I
always want to watch the episode.
Yeah, right. Like show me the whole.
You can realistically go and watch that first episode, and it's like a good continuation.
Oh, it wasn't even on it.
No, sorry, not to spoil the movie, but like no, it's not. But it's like
you spoiled pretty much every ending.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah, for those of you paying attention at home, I am ruining the endings of everything. Yeah. So
it's a spoiler, but not really. You know where it's going. You know, like they obviously end up on air because we've seen Saturday Night Live
history. Yeah.
The final line is him saying, "And live from New York, it's Saturday night." Like on the first episode.
I have actually never seen a Saturday Night Live episode.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too. I
It's
think you
all
have
like
to
skits.
like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
I think to appreciate this movie a little bit. Like to me, I could take it or leave it. I feel like Saturday Night Live is a lot of miss, and sometimes it hits really good. And to me, that isn't worth tuning in all the time. But I still appreciate that it's been on for so long, and the good ones that like take off, dude. Like those turn into movies, dude. It's like it's clearly like
Here's the thing. Yeah, Saturday Night Live works.
Oh,
really...
the cowbell was Saturday Night Live, right?
right?
Yeah,
Right?
so I know
See?
some skits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live works very well in like a best of form. Like there's
I
20
see.
episodes, and like maybe every season they do like a top 20 skits. Those skits are fucking dynamite. You watch those 20 skits, you're laughing your fucking ass off. But like every episode, there's only one really good skit, and then there's a lot of garbage.
Because I saw the one with Pedro Pascal of the chick cutting the steak and the table is all one.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
that's a funny one. Yeah, I haven't seen anything recently. I don't know.
And he's trying to tell a story, and just the tea and the food is everywhere. She's trying to cut her steak, and it's well done. And she's like, "I'm gonna cut you a piece of the steak," and he's like, "No, seriously, it's good." Like, but just the whole skit is just so ridiculous. Yeah, I know some skits.
That's
but
good.
Yeah. I just want to throw out there really quickly, Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd is fucking perfect.
He did a really good job. I thought.
When I read that, I was like, the fuck, Dan Aykroyd? Why would he play that role? And then I saw him in the movie. I'm like, oh no, that looks
good.
exactly like him.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say it because we were talking about like frenetic energy and like in the movie. Yeah. Me and you have both like directed short films before. We know like this is very much a movie about wrangling people who are out of control.
Yes.
And we've been there.
Yeah.
It's
like, maybe that's just what I liked it. I'm like, oh, he's gonna wiggle.
I hate it so much. It gets me so fired up.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, I've told everybody what to do. And as soon as one person stops doing what I told them to, they all stop doing what I told them. Like, stop fucking doing it. Just do what I say. Yeah,
I know. It's tough, man. Everybody's like, it's like herding cats, right? Like
everybody's
that's
got their
literally
personality.
herding cats in the movie. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Shoot, there was something I was going to add to that. Also, just the guy who played Chevy Chase as well.
He was
I thought he
fantastic,
did
too.
a great job too.
It's the guy who played the Riddler in Gotham. Right?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be paying attention to that guy more often, or looking to see what else he does.
No, he's good. He was good.
Yeah.
Moving on, this one to a romantic movie. From Ashley's list.
Oh, is it ends with us?
It ends with us.
Cool.
Say that's romantic.
I'm glad we got to talk about this movie too, because I think the drama surrounding the movie is actually way more interesting than what the movie presents.
I'm following the drama. Yeah, I like it. It's some pipe and tea. What do you, so look, Ashley,
sorry,
talk about the movie.
So it's a woman who met her guy, and then they got married and everything, and then it turns out that he's an abuser, but it's like little things, like he burnt his hand, and then she bent down, he accidentally hit her in the face, and then they find out that slowly he's actually like
a piece of shit.
Of shit.
Yeah.
And like I'm not spoiling anything.
Sorry.
So, but yeah, that's what it's about. It's about her like.
I love if you're like not spoiling anything. She dies at the end.
Everyone dies.
Way to spoil it. Yeah.
Everyone dies. Yeah, and then just like her realizing, and then trying to come to terms with it, and then she finally realizes, oh, this is happening, and that's what the movie is about. Yeah, there's. I don't know. I think it's a decent movie. I'll watch it again.
I actually didn't mind it. I watched it after it was out of theaters.
Me too. Yeah.
After the drama had already started, so I was already on one side of the debate. Yeah. And then I watched the movie, and I'm like, actually, it's not bad.
It's actually not that bad. I actually don't mind Blake Lively.
Yeah.
I love the main actor. I think he's a perfect guy for that part.
I think all three of them are actually fantastic.
Yeah. Who's the best friend? Who's the
Atlas, Ryle.
Yeah,
and
Ryle.
Then I'm trying to remember her name.
Yeah,
Bloom, something Bloom.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think they're all great actually. In the movie, so my wife read the book, and so she was really excited to watch it. So we watched it together, and she saw it in theaters. But she's like, I want to watch it again. Can we watch it? And I'm like, all right, you never asked me to watch movies a second time.
She kind of said it was let down a little bit from the book.
She was a little let down.
Based off the
she
book.
just said the book was better. The book was better.
Yeah.
She also said that it was also very, very evident that he was like abusive in the book.
In the movie, they kind of brushed it a little
It's
bit.
kind of like, is he?
Because
or was
all
it
the
an
scenarios
accident?
are real, though.
It's
Did you
like it
watch the
could-
movie?
I saw it. Actually, I went out to the theater when my wife and I saw it. She was excited because she likes Gossip Girl a lot.
Okay.
So it's like we're going like or
Yeah.
whatever. So it's
I
like,
can totally see me burning my hand and then accidentally.
Smacking
I
her.
can
Yeah.
totally
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's a real thing, you
Yeah.
know, like me tripping and falling downstairs. I can totally see that. Like, I can see. So I
Spoiler.
understand where it's like, oh, I wish. And I said that to you because you were like, no, he doesn't hit her on screen. It's more like behind corners or whatever. And
you
I'm
don't
like,
really see it. Yeah.
oh, that's kind of funny. Like if you're gonna put a movie about an abuser, make it about.
And that's it.
I'm sorry, maybe some people don't want to see that, but that's the realism. Let's be real.
But you're also
That's
the
what
thing.
you paid for the movie.
And I
You
don't-
know what it's
right.
about.
And that's just it. Like, I'm not saying they advertised it like that, but they kind of did. Like, if you're gonna advertise a movie that's about that, if you're gonna have a trigger warning,
Just do
I
it.
believe they had a trigger warning at the beginning too, right? Or maybe that was Blake Twice that had a trigger warning.
I'm not
oh,
sure.
maybe.
Oh, anyway.
I think it did, but
But anyway, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna have that, if you're gonna have all these things, like
or maybe something at the end.
But I
Had
thought
something
there'd
at
be
the end if
more.
you're-
I
Yeah.
thought there'd be more times it would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
more like.
That's no. So this is what the drama behind the scenes interests me about is he was going for something a little harder hitting,
yeah,
and she wanted something a little bit tamer. From the sounds of it, and like to match with her like hawking her like perfume line or whatever when they were doing like the press tour or whatever, right? So it's like whatever the case is, I'm not gonna read the book, but if it sounds like at one point he had a cut of it and she had a cut of it and her cut wins, but it's probably because it's like a happier Hollywoody cut than whatever he was going for. If the book is darker and he's trying to adapt the book better, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. So you're saying, did you like it how it was, or you would have preferred it if there was a little bit more evidence of like him being abusive, or like you liked it being like
Take it or leave it. It didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
same with me. I'm also on the.
Take
I'm
it or
like,
leave
what?
it. I don't mind
yeah.
the movie. I would watch it again right now.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Which
Yes, good.
never happens, by the way.
Oh, well, that's saying something. Here's my thing. Like, despite maybe Blake Lively and like how maybe not nice she is as a person, I think she's very like beautiful and like very fashionable, and like that goes a long way in like a movie like this. And like, not that it's not like more than that, but like I think she's the right choice. And she's also getting a bit older too, so I don't know how much longer she's got. Like, she's up there.
Yeah, I want to
She's
say
supposed to
in
be
her
playing like
40s.
20 something, and she's not 20,
right?
Like,
Because because I want to say in the book, my wife was saying in the book, she's like in her early 20s. So they purposely aged her up.
yeah.
Which I don't know why. I mean, I guess because you just want Blake Lively.
Well,
I mean,
he has to be older because
Right,
he's
not
a
young.
doctor.
He's a doctor. You need time.
He
right?
has
So
to be at least 30 for that
but girls,
alone.
girls can go for older guys. Like, I don't know whatever the book says. Like, my thing is like if you're gonna do the book, but if you're gonna make a movie out of the book, how well or how closely do you adapt it? Like,
yeah.
But I'm saying, is he older in the book? Right.
I have no
That's
idea.
the question,
I have no
right?
idea.
Get Melissa down here.
And of course, three
Yeah,
people
Melissa
don't
would know.
know.
Melissa would know.
Page 37. It says he's actually.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
he's
He has blonde hair spiked. Yeah.
He's a 40-year-old stud.
Yeah.
That's okay. I did see this movie, and I dig that they're making stuff like this. I guess I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, I don't know.
It's realism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm into the drama behind it, dude. It's gonna blow up like Amber Heard and Johnny Depp.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be
Bro.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
that big.
Yeah.
I do think it was very funny that the first person to like jump on her side was Amber Heard, and I was like,
Yeah,
of all the
yeah,
people,
no, girl,
not
you need
somebody
to,
you want on
you
your
need to
side.
be quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like she's kind of tone deaf, and I feel like trying to get her career back. Like Blake Lively, she's trying to get her career jump started again. Like, you had a baby, whatever. Like, it's
She looked
fine.
fantastic.
Yeah,
in it,
I agree. Like, I like whatever the flaws are. It's like I'm not obviously there to like see whatever it is, right? But it's like whatever. Like, it sounds like maybe she is ready to make her own movie. So I hope she gets to make
Which-
another one, and
that's
I
like-
hope he gets to make another one. Nobody's career should be ruined over this,
right? I've seen some of the stuff she's like music videos she's directed for Taylor Swift, and they're fucking great. They're actually
Cool.
fantastic.
Yeah, good. Let her
I
go.
just don't. I think the big problem was she wanted to make a movie, and this guy was already making a movie, and she
Yeah.
decided to kind of take it from him. And I think that's where all the drama's coming from. Like, because I don't know if that happened to me, I'd be fucking furious. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, and that's not saying it's because she's like a woman. I'm saying if anybody tried to fucking take a movie,
Well,
from me, I'd be
whatever.
fuck,
Yeah, it's like, and I
the
don't know.
fuck?
Like, it sounds like it started slow, but whatever.
yeah.
I
It's
guess
like minuscule. It's like I'm trying to think of that.
give him an inch.
Yeah, it's like more. There's a word for it. It doesn't matter. All right, next movie. We're gonna move on to another love triangle movie.
Oh,
Kind of romantic movie, but not really. It's more of a drama. I guess it's a straight drama. One of my movies, Challengers.
oh, I haven't seen this one.
Did anybody see it? No.
No.
I really liked this movie. It was really, really good. This is actually really high on my list. It stars Zendaya, who's fantastic in it. And the other two people are people that I don't fucking know.
Uh-oh.
So that's not good. But they're young. They're young guys, right? They're young, like British guys. And what it's about is, it's about these. They're three like tennis prodigies, pretty much. They're three like tennis players, and Zendaya's with one of them when they're younger, and then it cuts to like present day. So it's like them in college or high school or something, and then present day, it must be college. And then now she's married to the other one. And they were best friends. These two dudes were best friends.
Okay.
So she's married to the other one, and he's like a tennis star. And she can't play tennis anymore because she fucked her knee up. But she's like coaching him because she's like his wife. And she's like, you're going to be amazing. You're going to be amazing. And what it's about is the other friend coming back into their life to beat him in a game. Because it's like the one guy was always better, but the other guy was like, he was always like, the other guy was like arrogant, even though he was better. Mm-hmm. So the other guy ended up getting a career and like getting the girl and succeeding. And now it's this guy who lives in his car and he's like, no, fuck it, I'm going to beat him. And the whole movie is him like coming back into their life to be, I don't know. I thought it was a fucking excellent movie. And it flip flops back and forth between present day and like their relationship in the past. Okay. Yeah. And like what happened and like, I think it was fucking good. I thought it was an excellent movie. And it was a cool tennis movie. It was a tennis movie. So
yeah,
it was
good. The only thing I've seen about it is there's a shot where you're like POV tennis ball between the two of them, and it's like it looked like it was actually a more complex shot than like what it sounds like maybe me describing it as. So it's like I was like, okay, maybe I'll check it out. But it's on Amazon Prime, I think. Yeah, I'm like, oh, I should check this one out. It's like, but yeah, I haven't. I don't know. Yeah,
I liked it. I'm a huge fan of Zendaya.
Me too.
She can fucking do anything, and I'm happy.
I like her.
I could take her to leave it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think she's
I don't
great.
Know. It's good to see she's acting in it.
Because I can say she has no beef with anybody. She's not being stupid. She's not being like she's just a. I like her for that. Right? Adele is one of those where it's just. Yeah, you got to respect it.
Yeah.
I like her in the Spider-Man movies. I think she's a great MJ. Like,
I'm fine with the choice of her as MJ. Like I feel like she's like okay. The fact that Mary Jane is like a supermodel, and I feel like Zendaya was also a model.
Yeah,
I'm like,
model,
that's fine. That's great. That's kind of you just need that energy. Perfect.
Yeah, and she's got this like sarcasm about her that I really like. I think she's great. She's great in Euphoria. She's great in like this, but she's really good in this movie.
I have to see Euphoria. I keep seeing. Is that the drug movie?
Yeah, it's a show.
It's
a show.
Yeah,
here's the thing about it. It's a tough watch. It's like.
Is there needles and arms and
no,
stuff?
No, it's not.
I can't do it.
Tough. It's just like. It's just really, it's really, really serious. Do you know what I mean? Like people like, I don't know, just doing drugs and raping each other and beating. And it's just like, I'm just not like. Okay. It's a show that you watch where I'm like,
Me and him both kind of went, yeah, maybe not.
Maybe not.
It's not fun. It's not a fun show.
Right, I'm okay.
Super well made. Like,
that's cool.
Like the cinematography, the acting,
but I've seen
the directing,
Requiem
on
for
point.
A Dream at least 20 times in my life.
If you're into Requiem for a Dream, you'll be into Euphoria. It's that style. It's that like style.
That's an amazing movie.
It's a great movie. Yeah, and. I don't know. But
that
anyway.
movie is sad from the drop, from the first minute.
But I do, like, for Zendaya, talking about her, I don't feel like there's a bad movie that she's in, maybe then. Like, I haven't seen her where I'm like, she wasn't good in that. Like,
no,
it's
she's
like,
always been great. Yeah. And Challenger, she's fucking excellent. Okay. She's really, really good. As like, because, so it's like, it's a weird thing because in the movies, like, she's like, when they're younger, she's the pro. Like she's the tennis like pro, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and these two boys are obsessed with her. Like she's so pretty and she's so good at tennis, and these guys are also good at, you know what I mean?
Right.
And then she fucks her knee up, and it becomes this like, oh shit. So she has to like kind of rebound a little bit and like figure it out, and then she ends up like getting with the other guy, and it's just I don't know. It's good. I think it's a good flick. No, it's good. It's good.
Dramatic, love triangle-y.
Yeah. We're gonna move on to Derrick's next movie. A cartoon, The Wild Robot.
Oh, yeah.
I really loved this movie.
It's pretty good, dude.
I did not see it, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Go on, talk about it.
So,
I didn't watch it.
Melissa
went and saw
did.
it with Riley. I didn't.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
Yeah. So it's pretty much a robot. What is it? A robot crashes into like nature, pretty much, and then assimilates into nature and pretty much mothers this like bird, and like is pretty much like short circuit like robot, but like is learning like at a like huge rate and like learns like animal languages and like does like the whole like the talking animal thing.
Yeah.
It does that, but it's like the robot like learned its languages, so it's like it's a way to like explain how you have talking animals in the movie. And I'm like, bro, are they working on robots talking animals? Like that's like that's the side thing. But I'm like, bro, this is really like a great way to like show that she's able to communicate with all these. So you have like these like woodland creatures like surrounding this would be like a princess, but she's like a robot like motherly like princess that's like designed for caring for things. Takes care of this like duckling, tries to get it to fly, sends it to fly, and is like, I feel like I get at this point like sad because you have like this like job to do of like raising this baby and then sending it off, and then you're like kind of like, oh now what do I do or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually it's been a little bit. I forget what like the bird gets into some shenanigans, but the robot's like missing. So it's like the people who made it have come like looking for it eventually at some point too.
I
But
do figure, yeah.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you gotta have that aspect of it.
yeah, but like, dude, there's really touching moments, and it's a lot about motherhood. I want
Yeah.
to say, like, it's very much a movie about motherhood, but it reminds me a lot of a Disney princess like movie, like
Okay.
or like just the aspect of like having all the woodland animals like around a central character or whatever. I think that's really sick. So
You talk about a moment a lot. You're like, it's the saddest thing you've seen in a movie forever. Go
If
ahead.
I wasn't with like my 13-year-old niece, I would have cried. And it's that part where they like dig up the snow and then she just puts the snow back, and it was like, I just cry because they have to like go fetch all the animals in like a winter storm, right?
yeah,
And it's like so like, but my niece she begged me to bring her, and I was like, okay, fine. Find out she's seen it before. I didn't know that. Paid all the money. Cries from 10 minutes in to the end.
yeah.
I'm like, Riley, why are you crying?
It's like she just needed a good cry.
I'm like, I have a bunch of napkins because I'm a mom. So when I get popcorn, I like bring a lot of napkins because I'm just that person.
There you go. Yeah, it is.
So I'm like, here's napkins,
yeah.
Riley.
Yeah.
It's just so.
It'll make
I
you feel
love
things.
that movie.
Yeah, it's good. I think it'll win Best Picture or not Best
Best
Picture,
Animated?
Best Animated for the Oscars this year.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That was a
misspoke,
good
but-
movie. I had no
Yeah.
parts where I thought,
Yeah.
you could take like the whole movie was solid.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not. It doesn't lag or anything like that. It's like
It's so quick.
It's
I
got a
liked
good
it.
pace. Yeah.
That was a good choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh
was
yeah.
a good one.
Yeah.
I forgot about that movie.
Moving on to a.
Can I take that one instead of Civil War? I'll take.
No,
You can't-
well, you just talked about it. We might as well
So wait,
say
do we have overlap then? Is that we have overlap?
that's
Is
that
wild
was one
robot?
overlap.
Yeah. Okay.
Civil War, an Ashley pick.
What?
Even though she just said she didn't like it.
What?
Let's talk. Why is it on your list? I'm very curious. Did you only have 7 movies? You're like, fuck.
Yes. No. You know what? I had a couple like Beetlejuice, and then I had another one. But you know what was how it was made? I can't get it past that.
What?
It was made so well,
Yeah.
and like so, it's a war movie, and it's about a photographer
Oh.
who she like goes into the war, takes pictures of the war. And it's Kirsten Dunst, who I haven't seen since. Oh, wow. Like, totally freaked me out. I mean, right on. Yeah. Sure, number one.
I love that movie.
Like, I love that movie. And so, like, you never see her anymore. And it was just the most, like, I don't know. It just wasn't what I was expecting, I guess, of that movie.
So,
And then it's about her just following this crew, and they're trying to find the president. And that's all I'm going to say. But
So it's important to note that the war that they're in is a modern day civil war between the United States.
Yeah.
Like it's like so it's like I think they call them like the southern states. It's like
there's
Texas and California,
and Texas.
which I think is odd that they joined forces, but it's like whatever. So they
Well, they're the two largest.
right.
They'd be
so,
silly not to.
So they form an alliance, and it's just like states just kind of going at each other. So it's like these war photographers kind of
And journalists too. The one guy's a writer.
the guy's a journalist
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's and the two girls are photographers. And it's like and the whole thing is so because they're oppressed, they're almost like immune. Like for
That's
the
what
most
they
part,
think.
like
I think they're like,
seems
we're the press. Yeah.
right? Like it seems like they go anywhere. It doesn't matter what side it's on, and they're like, "Oh, we're press," and they're like, "Oh yeah, come on." Like it just seems like they're like people don't hurt press.
Well, it's like okay, they're going in with the intention of like, look, we're neutral.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. We're just here to write
please don't
stories,
hurt
yeah.
us. But
And everybody
like,
wants a story written about them.
It's
So.
like
Yeah,
a
exactly.
marching band. It's like we're just here to like march,
Yeah.
buddy. Like
But-
we don't have a gun.
yeah, but that's too. You get to see all the aspects of like this new America where there's sniper fire in this area, or these people just pretend like nothing's wrong and everything's normal. You can buy yourself a dress, or like these people, there's a mass open grave and they want to know if you're included in it or not, right? Like you're like, oh wow, like there's lots going on, right?
But she's watching TV and a bomb explosion happens in the city a
Yeah.
couple blocks
Yeah,
away, and she just
rattles
ignores
the window
it.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
And she's just watching the TV, and it's like,
I think
what?
I think if it wasn't so hot politically this year, which is like you kind of maybe don't make this movie unless politics are hot, right?
Yeah.
Like this movie's trying very hard to not be specific about like who the president is or like what side is which or whatever.
Yeah,
Whereas
they leave it really intentionally vague.
It's
on like who the villain,
Yeah.
like if they're Democrat or Republican. You know what I mean? They don't
nobody's saying
really
that.
say,
Yeah.
or like really, they don't really illustrate what states are where. They just, except for the Texas, California, they say that a lot. But like,
sure, and that's I feel like pretty open ended still
Yeah.
because I know like what Cali could be, but like whatever, it's fine, it's fine. But like for me, like that's kind of impressive because, well, most of all, like I'm a big fan of like in video games. There's like photo mode. Like Spider-Man is a good example.
Yeah.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man. That's like my favorite thing to do. And like this movie, like
Pokemon Snap.
yeah,
I love
Pokemon Snap's another
Snap.
like get me pictures of like America crumbling. Like is like what this movie is, and it's like the moments where like it's intense. The movie is focused on the main characters getting the shot. And I love that because, like, photo mode, the movie, like, whatever the situation is, the movie that's about, like, oh, I hope the scrappy young kid who's, like, really trying to impress the old, like, battered, like, veteran war photographer, I hope she really gets a sick shot in front of her. And it's like, they do things like that. And, like, the end is also amazing.
I think it's a good ending. I
the-
don't want to talk about it too much because
No,
I do
yeah.
want people to see it.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think the final line of this movie is one of my favorites.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
good.
it's such a great final line to a movie, but that's all I got. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
I like Callie Spaney, I believe her name is. I'm probably
Oh,
butchered
yeah,
that.
yeah.
She played
The young
Priscilla
girl.
last year, which was on our top 23 last year. She was also
mine.
sorry, I knew it was one of ours. And then Alien Romulus, she also
was
starred in
in
that,
that,
which
yeah.
not on the list this year, but fucking excellent movie.
You should check it out. You
yeah.
should go see if you like the Alien movie.
But Civil War was fucking awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good. There was one scene I thought I was not the biggest fan of, only because I thought it was. So I'll explain it. The scene. It's in all the trailers, so I'm not spoiling anything. The one with Jesse Plemons with the mass grave.
It shouldn't have been in the trailer.
One, it shouldn't have been in the trailer, but
Yeah.
two, I thought it was. I didn't like the scene only because we literally just had the scene with the sniper.
Yeah.
Like not like fucking 5 minutes before that. And I felt like they were very similar scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you just did this. I feel like you should have merged the two scenes
Or
together.
pick
like,
pick one or like
Yeah.
whatever. Or it's like make the sniper like interrupt them if they're like
You're
trying to
talking
be a
about the
mass
Christmas
maybe-
town.
yeah.
Right,
It was
yeah.
literally right before
I feel
that.
ya.
So I was just like, ooh, and like you could have had like everything that all the outcomes from the ladder scene you could have had in that scene. You know what I mean? Like, because really nothing happens in that Christmas town scene except for they're firing at each other, and then there's a weird moment where somebody was like, what side are you on? And the sniper's like, sides, who gives a shit? That guy's shooting at me, I'm gonna kill him. Like that's
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
that's pretty real.
yeah, like that's kind of the most important part in the like of that scene, right?
It actually reminds me a lot of Apocalypse Now in that way, where they're
Yeah.
like instead of like the boat, there's like the press van just going down the river, just like oh, what the we're descending into madness here. Like this is this. So
Agreed.
I was digging that.
And I also didn't like that open grave scene. And this is really, it's a spoiler, but it really isn't. Because they introduce a character fucking a minute before it just to kill them off.
Yeah.
And I hate
when
that
they
in
do
movies.
that.
I hate that in
Yeah.
movies. I'm like, you're like, and Alex Garland's a better writer than that.
I agree.
And like, I know you're a better writer than
It's
this.
not his strongest movie. That's
Yeah.
why it's like he's written better movies.
So Alex Garland's a great writer. He wrote, before he started directing, he wrote 28 Days Later, which is amazing.
it.
He wrote The Beach.
Yeah, Sunshine.
He wrote the novel The Beach. Sorry, I think John Hodge wrote it, but I could be wrong on that one.
I thought he did that one. That's based off his like
Alex Garland wrote the book.
Oh, okay.
And then somebody else wrote the screenplay.
Okay, yeah.
So
okay.
Anyway, and then he went on, and then he wrote Dread, and then he went on to start directing, and then he did Ex Machina, which is amazing. Annihilation, which is fucking spectacular. I recommend that. I'm one of the only people who think that, but like I think it's amazing.
It was okay. I like. He's pretty much the director of Dread.
Yeah,
like, he wrote Dread, but like it's come out.
A lot of people say that he directed it pretty much.
And I love Dread.
Dread's fantastic. Yeah. And then I really like this movie. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good movie, even though. Here's the thing: it really was overshadowed by politics this year.
Yeah, a little. I felt like my whole thing
is like.
Though
I don't think it was when it came out. I don't think it was so much. I don't remember. I was in the States. I actually watched the movie in the States.
Oh, nice.
It was actually weird. It was weird. I watched the movie on my way. So I went. I had to go to Virginia for work, and we decided to drive home. So we, my wife wanted to go shopping at like somewhere in Pittsburgh for whatever reason. So we decided to go from Virginia to West Virginia. It's not East. From Virginia to West Virginia, and then go to Pittsburgh, and then go to New York, and then home. And just by fucking sheer coincidence, that's the exact route they took in Civil War.
Nice.
So I saw it in Pittsburgh. I saw this movie because they have to avoid New York. Or no, they have to avoid Pennsylvania. So that's why they go around Pennsylvania and they go to Pittsburgh instead.
I remember them heading West Virginia. I remember that.
So
and then they made it to North Carolina.
Yeah, so I went backwards. So it ends in North Carolina. So I started pretty much there. I started in Roanoke, Virginia, but it's pretty much like right there in North Carolina. And then so like it's the exact fucking route. They even say Pittsburgh. I went to Pittsburgh. That's where I saw the movie. And then we drove around fucking, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, that's so funny. Like we pretty much took that route home. Like, cool. So anyway, that's just coincidentally, but yeah, the movie's fantastic. Kirsten Dunst is awesome. Like I said, Callie Spaney is great. The guy who plays the journalist is really good. He was also in. They did a television version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith this year. Okay. With Donald Glover and Maya something. I'm trying to remember her last name. Anyway, they're both fucking fantastic in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. It's actually a spectacular show. Okay. But the journalist shows up in that show as another Mr. Smith. Oh. It's like a weird, like they're at like a Starbucks. It's not a Starbucks, but it's like something like that. They're like, "Oh, John Smith," and they both reach for it, and he's like, "You're John Smith? Oh, I'm a Mr. Smith." And they realize that they both work for the same company. He's fucking so good in that show. I recommend it. But like, he's fucking excellent in this movie too. But no, everybody's good. I thought it's good. It was good. A little segue, not really. The other journalist in Civil War, I actually think he was in the second one. Now that I'm thinking about it. He was definitely in the first one, though. One of Derrick's movies, Dune 2.
Oh, good segue. Yeah.
He played... I'm trying to remember who he played. He played the general or something in the first one. But maybe he wasn't in the second one now I'm thinking about it.
He wasn't in the second one. He was the calculator guy in the first one. Yeah. Thinking.
Yeah. Not a general. Yeah, whatever. He's something. He's like an ambassador or something. He's like...
Yeah, his eyes would roll up in the back of his head and like... I think...
Yeah, he was like a Harkonnen, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. 1 second. Ashley, speak. Hi. There we go. We're good. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, Dune 2. So my favorite movie of last year is this movie. Yeah. This movie's got a lot going for it. We were gushing over Zendaya. She's in it. Right?
Oh yeah, she's in it.
So you want to talk about like I think movies used to have an ensemble. It's not that they don't now or whatever, but like I'm thinking about who's in this movie. Like front and center, Timothée Chalamet, girlfriend Zendaya. Like they're hot right now, but then it's like
Austin Butler is the villain.
Austin Butler's in it, looking good.
Oh, I like Austin
Josh Butler. He plays the villain. And he's fucking great.
He's very mean looking. Very
he's scary. He's a scary dude in the movie.
You don't know if he's like I don't know like. I know we did a Dune podcast earlier.
We did actually. Yeah. We actually did talk about this.
I love what you said about it, where he should have maybe been a little bit more front and center in the first movie, and he's not. He's kind of more front and center in this movie. He gets his moments more like in this one, but I think he's pretty good setup, pretty good villain, like like right hand. Like obviously there's like villains all like throughout the universe in this movie, but like he's clearly like the odd job of the movie, or like the guy gets his hands dirty. Right?
He's, you know what he reminds me of? It's like when you have superhero movies, you have like the mob bosses, and then you have like the jokers.
Yeah,
he's the Joker.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or
the
like
chaos agent or whatever. That's
the hitman or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's that character who's just like kind of unstable, but the mob boss is using him because he can. But then of course, you can't control some things,
That's it.
He's a force of nature.
Yeah, if you're thinking he's in this movie and he looks hot and sexy, he's got that whatever like appeal. They completely deleted it in this movie. He's just like bald and like no eyebrows, and he's like kind of alien looking. Yeah,
he's still good looking. He's a good looking guy.
Yeah, he's cut, but he's an alien in this movie. I was gonna say Josh Brolin's in this, Javier Bardem. Rebecca Ferguson too. There's a lot of good actors in this doing really good jobs of kind of just trying to get this. Have you seen Dune? Are you familiar with Dune at all? It's pretty much like the Neo or like the One story, where like the prophecy says like this one guy is destined to become like, if not ruler of the universe, like change the outcome of like the way things are. And over the course of this movie, Paul is like a kid, like a royalty kid, and now he's coming up in the ranks of like Fremen, which are like a native like alien people to this like Dune like sand planet, and he's like working their way up, like befriending them, becoming a warrior with them, becoming like their leader, and becoming like this prophetical like spiritual savior of like these people. And like I don't know if like how the books plan out. I don't know if like he actually ends up making the right decision, but this is like him coming from like what he was, and he was supposed to be dead. So from like your death to like rising through like the ranks of like the natives and becoming like this like savior to them, while also taking the fight to like the emperor of the universe or whatever. It's like a really cool like feel good like rah story with like a love triangle in it. There's like a love triangle in that.
That's all your wife, when we did the podcast, all your wife talked about was like, hey, the love triangle was fantastic. With Zendaya it was not really a triangle. It's more like it's just the two of them, but like Florence Pugh's there, but like it's not much of a triangle.
But like at the end,
Florence Pugh,
she's in it.
She's fucking excellent.
I love her.
This movie, she's the most like she's most like downplayed. Like she's not much of a character in the movie.
Yeah.
I think it's set up for something in the future, but
definitely. I think she's maybe more integral in like later books. I don't know. She's also in the book, which I haven't read. She's like the narrator. So she's like an important character in the sense that I think she's just watching these events unfold and they affect her in a way.
Oh, and it kind of implies, because in the original David Lynch one, she's narrating the whole thing.
Yeah.
But then in this one, it opens with her like writing or reading a journal or like.
I think she's dictating this on computer.
So it's like almost like.
Yeah,
it's like the narration a little bit. It's kind of an interesting.
And like, I think you also too in the first like part one, I think Zendaya is like doing the narration too. So you have like a different female like doing that or whatever. Also too, like Paul and Zendaya like aren't boyfriend girlfriend at the beginning of this movie, and there's like meet cutes and like the like boyfriend girlfriend like love stories like also like worked into this too. So it's like there's a lot. I think for your 4 quadrant, like this is a movie that's gonna please I think maybe everyone. And it pleased me. Like I'm into it. It's like that hero story, like that hero's journey, like fulfilled. And like, did he make the right decisions? I don't know. It's up for you to decide. I don't know. And they're running ahead with a third one already.
Yeah,
like the third one's coming quicker than.
Who's not directing it though?
Oh, is he not?
I could be wrong on that.
I would hope he.
You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's directing the next one, but they're setting it up so somebody else directs the next one.
Maybe
that's what I read.
I'd like for him to have a trilogy. I think this would make like if he does
he needs it. I think honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, when you see a director who's amazing and then they get stuck in a franchise and you're like, fucking finish this. I want to see what movies you'd make without this. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, assuming the third one's not like Godfather 3 or like Spider-Man 3
I don't
or
mind
like
Godfather
whatever.
3. They're on it out there, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's just like there's not a lot of good 3s, except for Sonic 3, by the way. Sonic 3 is amazing, but like
isn't Spider-Man 3 with Venom?
Yeah,
it's okay. It's not...
Oh, just because Venom, just because Venom's in it, it's amazing.
Yes.
You heard it here first. Okay, but like I think that like whatever this was, it's like shit, what were we talking about here?
Dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever this one was. Okay. Whatever this is. Dune is, I think, a perfect movie in a lot of ways. It's doing a lot for me. And like, if you think Villeneuve doesn't want to do a third one or wouldn't do a third one, I think his consistency is maybe off between the first one and the second one slightly as far as like tone goes. But I think he's the right man for the job, and I think he did a really good job with Dune. And I recommend people watch it. Like, it's got a lot going on.
Here's the thing: is it one of the biggest movies this year? Here, because you said it's like it is a 4-quadrant movie. It really does like please everybody. I think the biggest issue with the movie is the fact that it's really fucking tied. It's kind of handcuffed to the first one.
Fair.
That's the biggest problem, is you have to watch the first one to really understand the second one, and that's what makes it. That's what makes actually surprises me that it's even like it's nominated for Best Picture. It's not like I'm like,
but like
it's half a movie. How do you fucking get nominated for Best Picture for half a movie?
And I hear this argument, but like I also think like people are okay with like part of a story still. Like, it's like
sure, yeah, no, I hear you.
I use the Star Wars example.
Return of the King got nominated and Return of the King won Best Picture. It won like the most fucking awards. I'm pretty sure. I think it has a record. I could be wrong
maybe.
on that.
Yeah,
I think it's like 12 or something.
And that's like clearly like an award for like the achievement.
That's impossible.
I'm not sure.
Maybe it can't, because it didn't win any acting awards. So I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah. Maybe it's like a technical thing more than it is like an acting thing. Actually, yeah, okay. But it's like I could see giving it to the third movie because it's like an achievement of all three. And I know they shot, especially for the Lord of the Rings, they shot them all like simultaneously. It wasn't like they're like, okay, we're gonna take one. Like they did all. It's like getting an award for all three. But I don't know. I think they should. I should make a third one if they need to. My fear is that it is going to be like not as good as what the second one gave you. Like, I don't know. Check it out or don't. It's whatever.
Or don't. Whatever.
Yeah. It's my favorite. It was my favorite movie. I don't know. So,
but that's movie number 12. So we're about halfway. Did you want to get another drink? Are you good?
I'm just gonna open these snacks.
Cool. Do you want another drink?
I could take another drink.
All right, everybody. We just had an intermission.
Classic.
Which brings us to our next movie, The Brutalist.
Oh, it made the list.
It did. It did make the list. The Brutalist. Ashley, you don't even have to pay attention because I know you didn't see it, and I know you probably don't even want to talk about it. Here's the reason. So it did make the list. Here's the thing about it. I'm pretty positive it's winning Best Picture.
You think, eh?
I'm pretty positive it's going to win Best. You know what I mean? Me and Derrick went and saw it in Hamilton.
Yeah, I was actually happy we got to see a
35 millimeter.
A 35 millimeter print of it, which was exciting, and I could tell too because there's a jitter. And
there
like
is.
And you're like, oh wow.
No, but you really only notice it when it shows like title cards. Like on black, because they're so jittery. You're like, oh, I love it.
Yeah.
and then after that, you kind of notice it, but then it fades away after because you just don't even think about it. So we actually invited Ashley to go see this, and she on the day she was like, you know what, I'm good.
Yeah. What was it? Was it the runtime? Because that's I think what got like, yeah.
So not only is it a 3-hour movie,
it's 4 hours.
Oh, great! But the hour drive there and the hour drive back. So I almost got my boyfriend to go see it because I'm like, listen, we want to go. He's like, sounds great. And I said, just letting you know though, it's like 6 hours of your day. And he's like, no. And then I said, no, that's what happened.
Okay, well, whatever.
6 hours of my day. I'm a busy girl.
Yeah, I get it.
I love a drive to I love driving to Hamilton or something to go see a movie. That's like an adventure to me.
I agree.
And this movie
Well, we did it for Pulp Fiction. It was fine.
That was fun, actually. We did. We drove to Oakville for that. We drove to, you and Liv drove to.
We did Oppenheimer.
I think we drove to Oakville, I believe, as well. Maybe it was Burlington, but.
I forget where. It was a larger screen.
It was IMAX. We had to go somewhere else to see IMAX, but here's the thing. For a movie that was 4 hours long, it didn't feel like 4 hours. There's something that's really nice about an intermission.
Yeah.
It actually had a 15-minute intermission, intermission in the middle. And there's something about getting up and stretching your legs, going to get some food. I went and called my wife and talked to her. You know what I mean? Like there's 15 minutes to kill. So it's like you're watching a whole new movie. You know what I mean?
It felt like it actually too.
Yeah.
Like the second part, I was like, okay, well, and especially with certain things that it sets up, certain things start paying off or falling into place or whatever, you're like, oh wow, okay, this is coming together differently. But you're right. I love something that's got an intermission.
I think
It's like
fantastic.
a palate cleanser almost,
Yeah.
or something, right? Like,
So for Ashley and any listeners who have not seen the movie, here's the thing. I'm going to say what this movie's about, and you're going to say, how is it possible that this is a 4-hour movie? Because it's like, this is all it's about. You ready? It's about a Jewish man who escapes the concentration camps in World War II, and he comes to America, comes to New York City, so that'd be the 40s. But in Europe, he was a famous architect, and he ends up meeting this really wealthy man who asks him to build a building or design a building for him. That's it. That's the movie. And like the rest of the movie is them building this building. Where it gets interesting though is, like, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but really not. Like, it's what the movie's about. The first half of the movie is about him designing this building.
yeah.
However, the big struggle of the movie is his wife and niece are still in concentration camps over in Europe. So while working with this businessman, he ends up meeting a lawyer who says, hey, as long as you keep doing what you're doing, I could get your wife out of Europe. So the first half is that. And then the second half, you do the intermission, the 15-minute intermission. And then the second half opens with his wife showing up. So it's like the movie fucking changes pretty drastically when she shows up, because it's kind of from her perspective, a little bit, not really, but it is, in the sense that like up until this point he's very like, I don't know, it's like everybody is really welcoming of him, and it's very like, and then from her perspective it's like everybody looks down on him. And everybody, like, he's scum, and they only tolerate him because he's a good architect. And it's just like, and it's like, it becomes a very different movie, I feel like.
I didn't like him in the second half.
No.
Like, as much. You're like, oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, and the movie's very, very reminiscent of older movies like The Godfather. Godfather Part 2 especially. Like, with the whole, like, the immigrant story in New York.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
it just reminded me of
Making
The Godfather. Like, like especially because they're Italian, right? Like this, that they're speaking Italian, and like just, I believe they're Italian, right?
I think he's Hungarian.
Oh yeah,
he's like Hungarian Jewish.
They go to Italy. They do go to Italy.
Yeah.
Though,
Okay, so there's a scene where they're in Italy where there's a specific mine that is like the white marble. Yeah. That like was,
and he says, "I used to live here." That's the only reason why I'm.
Yeah. It's a scene later in the second half where they go and to get it like a precious like material like for like his next like part of the architectural like process.
Guy Pearce plays the billionaire who's fucking. I don't know if he's a billionaire, but he's like a very wealthy man.
He plays the money or the suit,
and he's really good in the movie. He's for sure getting nominated for supporting. I think Kieran Culkin's gonna win, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, that's a tough one, dude. Actually, I feel like so that category I was looking at, and I'm rooting for Jeremy Strong. Like, and I don't know, like I really liked his performance in The Apprentice. Like, not that like that. I really like what that. Like, side note, The Apprentice, the fact that what's his face is also Sebastian Stan's nominated too. Like, Jeremy Strong and Sebastian Stan's characters do like this really cool like thing between the two of them, like over the course of the movie. The fact that they're both nominated, that's really sick. But I would hope that Guy Pearce like I think his performance is really interesting, but like I'm okay if he doesn't get it this time around. I like that he plays the money. Like it's kind of okay. So like this whole movie, to me, is kind of like you have people who are talented and who are kind of like they don't have the money aspect in their life, but then people recognize the talent, but all they have is like the money to back it, and it's like an examination of like that relationship. And what I think is so interesting about making a movie is that you tend to go into business with people who have a lot of money. They see your talent and then they want to use it to their benefit, and you agree to that. Like under certain conditions,
right? And then the second you're not useful anymore to them. Yeah, it's very easy to cast aside.
Right,
and it's like,
right. So I love the metaphor, the overall theme and metaphor that the movie's like trying to say, like what it's saying. Yeah, and clearly, like the filmmaker Brady Corbett.
Yeah.
He's clearly coming from a spot where it's like, man, it's hard to get a movie made. I'm gonna make this movie about how it's hard to get movies made, but I'm gonna use the
Like architecture.
Architecture is like
war
my
and
theme.
stuff like that. Yeah.
And what's really cool about this movie is that it's using a really cool film format to capture really beautiful architecture while telling a story about an architecture who's struggling, fighting against like the money, like the suits, like to get his dream made or whatever. And I don't know. I like that. I like that more than maybe the overall thing of it. Like I'm still impressed by it. I still thought it's a pretty relevant movie, and I like its theme maybe more than its overall what it pulls off.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I hear you.
That's it.
Another movie, speaking of pretty interesting architecture, I want to talk about only because Ashley's eating fucking nuts right now. So it's like, we'll let her stay off the microphone for a second.
Can you hear that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Thanks, man. You should have opened it for me.
Crack
My
it.
bad, yeah.
Crack that.
Thank you. I was waiting for you guys to stop talking.
Only because I don't think Ashley's actually seen this movie. You want to talk about Cuckoo?
Oh yes. Okay, so I'd love that. Have you guys not seen it? Okay.
We saw it together.
Okay, we say okay. Okay, yeah. All right. So how you fight a monster properly, or at least better than in Nosferatu, is Cuckoo.
Yeah.
Or Cuckoo or whoever.
However you pronounce it, yeah.
So it's like in this monster movie, it's not a blood sucking like Dracula, but like I don't even want to say what it is. I'm not even gonna say what it is because you haven't seen it, but the trailer does it, and the movie also just encapsulates it well. But it's like there's a point in the movie where the girl, she's riding on her bike, the main character, she's riding on her bike, and she's looking down at her shadow of her on the bike, and then you see like this arm in like a running position, like out trying to get her, but you're only getting it from like the street light passing, and you can see that this arm is gaining on her, and that scene immediately is like, well, whatever this movie's about, I have to watch it or whatever. And although that scene is like kind of stolen from the trailer a little bit, the movie is pretty wild, and it's about this woman who pretty much has to fight like a creature. Like that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And I think the outcome is rock and roll compared to how Nosferatu ends.
Agreed.
So it's like you want to talk about like fighting a creature. Like even we talked about It Follows like a little bit earlier. Those punks try to fight that creature, and like they at least have good ideas. They have good ideas, but they don't execute properly. And at least this movie is like trying with the execution of how to fight a creature properly, and like that goes a long way for me.
That's one thing.
Whose pick is this?
Derrick's.
It's mine. It's probably I would say it's number 4 on my list of like my like movies or what. Not that that matters, but like it's I highly recommend. Like for a creature movie, like if it was between Nosferatu or Cuckoo, I would
Cuckoo's
say
good,
watch that when it's dead.
So I liked it a lot. We watched we watched it together.
Bro,
in my
it's so
basement.
much fun.
I loved it. I think everybody's awesome in it. Dan Stevens plays an awesome villain.
He's such
Hunter Schafer, I believe her name is.
Okay, yeah. I loved
So
everybody in
fucking
it.
good,
I loved
yeah.
everybody in it.
Yeah.
Everybody's good. Like doing exactly what they need to do for the story. Everybody serves the story perfectly, I think.
Yeah.
Dan Stevens
So for
also.
for people who don't know that, I mean, just a super bare bones story.
You tell it.
Yeah. It's about a girl who moves in with her father. They moved to Europe to a ski resort because he's designing a ski resort, I believe. I'm trying to remember exactly why. I know he designed ski resorts or something. But anyway, so
There's another reason why they're there.
yeah,
though.
there is another reason why,
Yeah.
that's the under, yeah. So Dan Stevens plays the guy who's like his business partner, and so it's like she goes to this little town, and the whole thing is like it's like a weirdly nice house and stuff, but Dan Stevens is like, you can't go out at night though. Don't go out at night.
Very protective.
Of course, she goes fucking out at night, and
Yeah.
then she gets attacked by this like creature,
If somebody told me not to go out at night,
right? And then
yeah, I don't know.
right? And then like, but nobody believes her. Everybody's like, "Oh yeah, you got attacked by a creature," kind of thing,
village.
right? But it's it's like, and it's just the thing. The town is just so strange. It's like not the town, but like
Things are
it's an
happening
odd-
in the
it's-
town too.
Yeah,
The people are strange, and then there's weird things happening to the people.
yeah, like it's a fun movie. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. And there's a moment where like as soon as it started happening, you're like, See, this is the moment where I knew Derrick loved this movie. It is in the back half, so I'm not spoiling too much, but it's the moment where, like, the group collect their shit to go kill the monster. And, like, Derrick's like, yes,
I love
this is
it.
the Ghostbusters moment. Is exactly what you said. Oh, shit, the Ghostbusters moment. It's like, yes. It's
The
like,
suit up. The suit up montage to go fight the bad guy.
It's like, because it's like at this point they figured out the rules because there are rules to the mod. You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, we got it. Because was it you that brought up It Follows? The kill, because it's like that movie also has rules.
Yeah,
you gotta like, okay, we have ideas. We gotta kill the monster like this. It's kind of the same idea. It's like we gotta do it like this. And and where it goes is fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. Also on Amazon, you can watch it.
Yeah. Also on Amazon. So that night we actually had a double feature.
Oh yes, we did. Yes, we did.
One of my movies is the other movie we watched that night called Strange Darling.
Oh, fun.
I really liked this movie a lot. This was a really fun movie.
Did we watch Maxine this year?
Yeah.
Was it supposed to go on your list? No. Sidestepping a little bit.
I forgot about Wild Robot, too. I would have ditched 8 Just kidding. I remember watching Maxine with long legs, and I'm like, oh, yeah.
Maxine we watched. Yeah, that was this year.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. Strange Darling. This was a fun movie. I liked it a lot. So I remember it was really hyped up, especially by you, because the cinematographer was Giovanni Ribisi.
It's Giovanni Ribisi doing the cinematography. I'm so happy.
You're like, what the fuck? He's like an actor. You know what I mean? He played like...
And he's a good actor,
Phoebe's brother on Friends. Like, he's like I don't know, he's a pretty big actor. It's like...
Yeah, dude, he's in Avatar. Like, I love him in Avatar. The first Avatar, he's like
great.
the sleazy golf guy, like sitting in like the control room or whatever. Like, oh man, he's just a good actor.
60 Seconds, he's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
he's a good actor, dude. And I'm like, whoa, he's trying like cinematography, and he's doing. I think he's playing with a lot of colors in this movie, like a lot of like hard, like one color this, one color that sometimes, but like trying different things. And there's one shot in the trailer. I remember showing you the trailer. I'm like, I don't understand this angle. I don't know why he chose this. It's so obscure, but I love it.
Yeah, it's like someone's shooting. It's like
through glass or whatever,
and like but it is a really cool.
It's technically like a wide establishing, but it's like never in a million years would I be like, this is the right angle to use. I'd be like, this is the wrong angle to use, and he's like, no, this is what we're gonna embrace. And you're like, oh,
I like that. I
love it.
He was awesome in it.
Yeah.
So for people who've never seen it, so it's a hard movie to talk about. It's a movie that it's like 8 chapters or 6 chapters.
It's a couple of chapters out of order.
But that's the thing, right? So it's like, I want to say it's 8 chapters, and it purposely jumps. So the opening of the movie isn't even a chapter. It's just like the two of them talking in the truck. It's like a guy and a girl. They just met. It must have been at a bar or whatever. And she, like, you could tell she wants to go in they're like parked outside of a motel. You could tell she wants to go in, and he obviously wants to go in, but she's like, what if you're, you know what I mean, not a good person? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if I'm like reading this all wrong? And he's like, I promise I'm a good person, kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then it cuts to the opening credits, which is her running through a field covered in blood. So, and then it cuts to chapter 3. Like, it starts at chapter 3, and it's her in a car covered in blood fleeing him who's in a truck trying to ram her off the road. And he's like, and then like he like ends up pulling over and shoots out her back window. And then it like cuts to, and then it's like she runs away and gets to like a random farmhouse. And then it cuts to black, and it's like chapter 6. Do you know what I mean? And it cuts to like a few, and then it's like all of a sudden, like now we're in the farmhouse and there's like dead bodies everywhere. And it's just like, and then it's like chapter 1, and it's like them, you know what I mean, in the motel room. And it's just like, this movie's fucking bizarre and interesting. I loved it.
I loved it so much.
Okay, I don't want to say it reminded me of a Quentin Tarantino movie, but it's doing what Nolan would even do. Like,
what about Memento?
Yeah,
it's very much like
doing that. It's like it's out of order, and you're like trying to figure out. Okay, well, bro, he's like clearly the aggressor in this scene.
Oh,
but then,
I see. You're thinking of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Same thing. Right. It's like you're getting more information with each new unfolding scene out of order, and then like by the end of it, you have like the whole picture. You're like,
is it good?
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And it's on Amazon Prime.
What is it called?
Strange Darling.
Yeah, it's I'd say intense is a good word for it, and there's scenes of like really cool gore and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. It's
was
it's
fun.
quick too, right? It's like
What's that?
how long was it? I felt like it was like
I didn't think it was even long. I think it was like an easy hour 20.
right. It was
maybe
breezy.
hour and a half.
It was like it trucked along. Like
for a movie that's split into like 6 or 7 chapters. It was pretty fucking quick. I
Yeah.
thought, but maybe it was just because it was so like it's pretty intense. And like even the slow scenes, because they cut the chapters, like because it's so out of order, there's a lot of shit that they cut out. Like if you were to re-edit this movie in order,
You're still missing.
there's
parts.
still like things that are missing, but it's not important things. You know what I mean? Like in a normal movie, you would show like you would
the people
show
showing up in the room.
exactly, and saying these
Yeah.
lines. But you don't need that, right? Because it's all out of order. So you just like, oh, you just know that like, oh, that person's dead now. That's weird. And like that's like, you know what I mean? It's like I thought it was fucking good.
It's fun. It's a fun way to tell a story because you get to kind of people are getting as more information unfolds, you're getting more of the story, and I don't know. It's
fun.
Great. It's good.
It was a fun movie.
I agree.
One of Ashley's movies. I figured we talk about Wicked.
Oh, okay.
I didn't actually see Wicked. Did you see Wicked?
I did see it. I went to see it. I fell asleep on it.
No.
Yeah, I did. And it's at the best part when she's like defying gravity and stuff. So it's like I'm like, oh wait, no, I want to see this part because like we also last year we went and saw the play of Wicked.
Shit. Okay.
So it's like the stage is different than a movie, but like there's clearly certain things that happen on the stage that are huge and important that the movie also has to put emphasis on, and like her Supermaning at the end so Wicked is part 1 or like the first act of like the play, and for me, so it's like there's part 2 coming out like this.
Wait,
like,
what?
Yeah,
It's only a part. I didn't even know this.
Unfortunately, yeah. The
Derrick
play.
spoiled it.
Yeah. No.
Right for the ending.
Whoa. No. I just want to say this bad thing off the top, and then you can go into it more. But it's like the play is 2 acts, and what they've done is they've broken up the movies into like the first movie's Act 1 and the second movie will be Act 2. Unfortunately, the first movie is the same runtime as like the whole play. So it's like they've stretched one act into like the whole movie.
They pulled a Hobbit.
Yeah, a little bit. And it's like, to me, that's why I think I'm just defending why I fell asleep on it a little bit. But I still think it's like, it's a decent like version of it. I don't know. Like, it's not my thing anymore. Like, what I like about The Wizard of Oz isn't like this. Like, so it's like it's trying to show that the witch is like a good person, and I like where that's coming. Like, I like that like there's clearly other bad people operating, and they paint her as like the bad guy. But I feel like the play did it better than this movie did. I don't know. How do you feel about like?
I've never seen the play.
Okay, all right, whatever. What did you think about the movie then?
I thought it was really good. Yeah, I
Okay.
have no issues. That's the issue, is I never saw the play.
Perfect.
And, like-
it's better then. Yeah. So
I went in blind. I don't know anything about Wicked at all. I've never read anything. So going in was kind of cool. But I didn't know it was to be continued either until the very end.
Oh, wow.
Because she like
Spoilers.
flies away,
Yeah.
and then it's like, to be continued. I'm like, what are we still continuing? But then the opening of the movie is them saying the witch is dead. And I'm like, oh, I guess we have to see the witch dead. Duh. Like, we should have guessed.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the ending,
Yeah.
then we should have guessed.
So are there 3 witches in the movie?
No, there's 2.
no.
Glenda.
Well,
Yeah.
because the third witch is the one
We
who
don't.
dies.
She don't exist right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't confuse me.
Sorry.
that's right.
Because the main character of Wicked is the villain of Wizard of Oz, and then
Yes.
Glinda shows up later in the Wizard of Oz. It's the Wicked Witch of the West that dies in the beginning, right?
Oh yeah, she's in this movie.
Oh, she is?
Yeah, the one that dies, or she's in it. So it's like, Wicked is like a prequel, but then it overlaps. Like it ends with the
I've
ending
never
of
seen the
Wizard
play.
of Oz.
I've never
yeah.
seen the play.
the Wicked Witch of the West is the main character.
Maybe
no?
I'm wrong.
That's
Maybe-
the one who died.
The one that's
crushed
crushed with a house. The one that's
That's
crushed
the
with
Wicked Witch of the West, right?
She has a sister.
Yeah,
No, who's the one that got melted by water?
that's the main girl from Wicked.
Yeah, that's who
But-
died in the beginning of the movie. I meant, not the house one. I don't know who that is. That's later. I don't know who that
That's
is.
her sister.
Yeah, her sister. Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't know who that is.
I've never seen Wicked, but I was told once like what happens in it. Like when it first came out, someone's like, "Yeah, it was fucking," and it was pretty much like. I liked it. I liked the idea of it, where it's like she's not really a bad person, and she's
No.
actually like almost just playing with them, like I don't know, like they're I don't know.
I
don't wanna
like her
spoil
because
much
she
for you.
never even wanted to have powers or anything. It was everybody else forcing her to learn these powers, and it's like, well, then she turned evil at the end, and you're like, you guys are dumb. She didn't even like when you watch Wicked. I'm like, oh, she's so sweet. Like she didn't even want to do anything, and it was the teachers and whatever Galinda, and it was all of them pushing her. You should learn, and then. I haven't seen Wizard of Oz in years, and I don't know much of the story. But
That's true. I think like for this, they're certainly they're making her to be like the hero or the misunderstood hero, which is cool because they make her also like a scapegoat, like the real villains do. And there's a line in it. It's like, well, somebody needs we need a villain. Somebody you need to hate somebody or whatever, right? And that's like they're gonna pin a lot of the problems that come about in this movie on her.
There's not much of a villain in this movie, though.
Well,
I guess
like,
the teacher kind of, but not really.
Technically, her and like the wizard Jeff Goldblum is like the wizard's like the bad guy. In it. Yeah, it's a spoiler. I don't know. I'm bad at this spoiler game.
But he's not though. Like in this movie, he hasn't really done anything that made him. That's what I mean. I think it might be in the next one. But in this one, they kind of sprinkled it a bit, and then they just to be continued.
You're right, and like that's it too. It's like it's a partial story too. So you're getting like, I don't know. You'd have to watch it to determine for yourself. Here's what I think. I think some of the sets in it are really impressive.
I think so too. That's why it's in it.
I think for production design, it's the one to be watching because it's a lot of its sets are practical, and there's a lot of like
I like that.
big like dance like numbers like musical numbers where a lot of your performers are interacting with how big the sets are and stuff like that. So I think that's what I'd be watching for, like when it comes to like Oscars or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know.
I just thought it was very well made. That's why it was on there.
How did Ariana Grande do?
Oh, I love her.
She actually did good.
Yeah, I heard she's fantastic.
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah. She's cute. She's bubbly. She's poppy or whatever.
She's really funny in it.
Also, one thing too, the song "Popular" that's in it is like actually a really good song.
Oh, it was in my head for a full day.
That song's a banger, and like unfortunately, nothing else in the whole play comes as close to how much I like Popular. It's in the first act, first movie, so it's like I don't think the second movie's gonna do it for me. Like, and I don't even think the first movie. Like, I know it's important. Like, it's a good movie, but I feel bad that I fell asleep on it. I felt like it was like stretched thinner.
That's what you're saying. Yeah, like whatever. Like The Hobbit that came out that year. It was like it's a book that's like 100 pages. It's like 300 pages shorter than The Fellowship of the Ring.
Right.
For whatever reason, they stretched it into 3 movies.
We're gonna make it 3. You're like, oh, yeah. But it's like dude, if you've never seen it, like, and like, you're like, oh, I loved it or whatever. Like I get it. Like her flying, like at the end, dude. She's cool, dude. And that's something that it's hard to, okay, like Maleficent, right? Yeah. They try to make her like a cool, like, hero, even though she's like the bad guy.
I've never seen it.
Okay, whatever.
I know the idea.
Whatever.
Angelina Jolie,
Yeah, Wicked did it good. So.
You want to move on? You want to
Wicked. What's your segue? Wicked? I don't know if you got a segue from that. So.
Okay. Another movie where like the title character is the villain, or the bad one. But I mean, are they the bad person?
Ooh.
I really liked Abigail.
Oh, okay.
Did you watch Abigail? Did you watch Abigail?
I saw it at the drive-in. Funny story.
Oh, you didn't watch the ending though.
We drove away from it, but then it was later. I think it's on Amazon as well. Yeah. And I finished the ending or whatever because we were at the point. My kid, he's in the back. He fell asleep. Whatever the first movie was kosher. The second movie's Abigail, and we're like, well, if they're asleep, whatever. But it's like this point where Dan Stevens is like vomiting blood, like, whoa. And he's like, what's happening? We're like, we gotta go, abort, shut the radio off, should like get out of there or whatever. So it's like that's funny. But I was like, oh man, this is where it's getting good. This is where it's getting like fun. Like vampire. The vampire rules in this movie are a lot of fun. Yeah. Like how they react to sunlight or like.
I agree.
Just like the marionetting, the puppeting, and stuff like that are in it. Yeah.
So it's a vampire movie. And what it's about is.
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
Vampires and ghosts.
Yeah, it's a vampire movie, and what it's about is It's like this group of thieves that nobody knows each other. And they're all named after
colors. Is it Reservoir?
No, yeah, pretty much. No, they're named after the Rat Pack. So Sammy, Frank, like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. So they're all like named after that, right? And they're hired to kidnap this this wealthy businessman's daughter and like hold her overnight. It's like, you got to kidnap her, bring her to this mansion, hold her overnight. So they get there, and what it turns out is
She's a psychopath.
She's a vampire.
Oh.
And as soon as they get there, once they get settled in, the house like locks. It becomes like pretty much a saw trap. And what it is this the girl has to feed once every like year or so. I don't actually know how long. They probably say it. I just forgot it.
She's there to feed them.
She's there to eat them. That's like, and she likes to play with her food. That's like the whole idea. So it becomes these like thieves who don't know each other, like these criminals having to like work together to kill this little girl who's a vampire, who's dressed like a ballerina.
Yeah.
Like,
Whose pick is this?
mine.
Did you like it?
I loved it. I thought it was fucking excellent.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That was like,
I was actually kind of like,
The ballerina.
yeah.
outfit?
Actually, no, the killer ballerina girl thing is something that's underutilized. I'm glad this movie kind of. Do you remember Cabin in the Woods?
with the face? Yeah.
Right, yeah. So it's like she doesn't go like crazy, like her whole face is a mouth like that. But like there's a point where she's like, vampire mouth, rah, and you're like, that's scary, dude. That's good imagery, like good scary imagery for actually even what's her face getting marionetted and puppet. It's one scene where it's like, because if she bites you a little bit, she can control you. So there's a scene where it's two of the thugs in a room together, but Abigail's got control of the other one, and she's messing with the other guy, like in the room or whatever. I'm like, that's scary, dude. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like that I would
You don't
freak
know
me
if
out.
you can trust him or not, and he's
Right.
trying to kill you, and you're like, oh.
Yeah,
It's a fun movie.
yeah,
So,
it's fun.
And
I
it
agree.
also
Fun's a good word for it.
there's a lot of controversy right before it. So the guys who directed this movie, it's a pair of gentlemen who they directed the last two Scream movies. Before that, they directed Ready or Not, and
Like Scream 6 with like Jenna Ortega.
yeah, and Screams. No, Scream 5 and 6. Yeah. So both movies of Jenna Ortega. So they go by Radio Silence. That's like what their
I was forgetting
director
the name,
name was.
but yeah, that's good.
so
Director duo.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they end up leaving Scream to start this movie, and then the main character from that last two Scream movies, Melissa Barrera. I butchered that. I just butchered that, but she like said some unflattering things. I'm not really 100% sure. I want to say she was pro Palestine before it was like acceptable. I guess I'm not really sure.
Oh,
But I don't know enough about it to like really. Get into it.
she said something, and they're like, we have to drop you.
Yeah.
Like,
So she ends up getting fired from Scream 7.
Oh.
So they fire her from the new Scream. She's the main character.
Yeah.
So they fired her. So these Radio Silence guys were like, "Oh, if you don't want her, then we'll fucking take her in this movie." And she is so good in Abigail as the main girl that I'm always happy she's out in Scream 7 because she was so good in Abigail that no, I recommend it. She's fucking excellent. I think she'll have a huge career going forward. I don't think it's gonna stop her, but.
Yeah, what I think you should be able to say what you want. Like, is she Palestinian? Like, is it like?
I think she's. I feel like she's like.
You-
I feel like she's Spanish, but I could be fucking
whatever.
wrong on
I
that.
think.
don't know.
Okay, I'm hoping that.
But I don't know
could
why
be-
she would say unless she was. Like I feel
Yeah.
like she must be.
Yeah, or you got people you know or whatever.
Yeah, it's possible too. Yeah, definitely.
You should be able to say that and not get dropped, and you could still go make a
Yeah.
movie. So
And that's
I'm
what
glad
happened
she's
though.
able
So
to do that.
she got dropped, and then everybody was like, "Oh no!" Like all these actors were like, "No, like." Fuck you, pretty much. Jenna Ortega's like, "Oh yeah, fuck you," and she backed out of Scream 7. Like,
Okay, hold on. She wasn't just like, go Trump. Like, she must have said, like somebody look. No, not literally right now. I'm just saying.
yeah, look it up.
Listeners,
Yeah.
look at, because there had to be something that she said.
Google it.
I want to say it was before it was like okay to be on Palestine. I see again. I don't know enough about the conflict. I don't know.
Yeah,
So, but
Anyway,
to
she
really
said
talk
something.
about it,
People
but
got upset.
I did bring it up. Maybe I shouldn't have brought it up. That's
Whatever.
fine.
No, it's fine. And
But
like,
the point of
whatever.
the story was these guys are like, "Oh, fucking, we'll hire you for Abigail." And she's
Good for that.
excellent as the main character, though. She is so good as she plays Joey in the movie.
I don't remember. I like Dan Stevens. I thought he was
Dan
really good.
again
Yeah.
from fucking Cuckoo, whatever it's called.
Yeah, he was good.
He's awesome in this movie. The girl who plays Sammy is fucking excellent.
And I
it's the same girl from Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah,
she was also in Freaky. I thought she was amazing in Freaky.
Yeah, I liked her in that.
She's doing a lot of the same thing she did in Freaky, actually. Especially in the back half. I won't get into why, but it's like she's very like devious, and I love it. It's so good. Like, I think it's a good flick. I recommend it.
Yeah, check it out.
Segueing, we're gonna do. I think we're gonna do.
Let's hear it.
Another horror movie. We're gonna
Good segue.
Let's do a Smile 2. One of Ashley's picks.
I've been told I should watch this. I've also been told that for sequels, it's it elevates what first Smile did, which is good to hear. I feel like a lot of sequels don't uplift and like build on the content.
A lot of sequels take what worked in the first one and they just amplify it, whereas good sequels take what was built in the first one and like make it. They add to it. You know what I mean? It's like a build. It's like a base you're building, right? I think I know you're not a big fan of the John Wick movies, but I think John Wick's really good for that. Where it's like every movie is a layer.
I
where it's
really have to watch that movie.
Yeah.
I watched the first 20 minutes of number 1, and that was all I watched.
Yeah.
I really
I love those movies. I watch them a lot.
I'm ready for them to adapt it into a video game already.
I'm surprised it hasn't yet. Anyway, I apologize. Smile 2. I actually haven't seen it yet, so you're the only one who's actually seen Smile 2.
Oh wow. Okay, that's good.
So
who did I see it with?
Not either of us.
Yeah. So the first one is I'm trying to forget how it opened. The first one, it doesn't matter anyways. So anyways, there's this thing, and if you see somebody, I guess, kill themselves, then
yeah, because you're possessed by this
demon,
monster,
I guess.
Yeah.
And you see people, and you just go insane. And so the second one was a musician who this was happening to, and she's like Taylor Swift, like Lady Gaga, Ariana,
Is the character in the second one a new character we don't get introduced to at all? It's not somebody in the first one. Okay.
The opening of the second one was the ending result of the first one.
Cool, so it carries over.
Yeah, like immediately.
Sick.
It's like maybe not even a few weeks later.
Okay.
And then you get introduced to it. You didn't watch the first one?
I saw the first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I saw the first one,
which I haven't seen either.
Okay.
They're great.
I know it's a smile demon. I also know it reveals itself at the end of the first one.
It does, and that's the biggest.
I think so too.
And that was the biggest.
Because it doesn't really reveal itself in the second one, really.
I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously.
Spoiler, Ashley. Jeez.
I'm just teasing.
This one.
Here we go.
Trust me, I know. I know when it is a spoiler.
Yeah. I think you already saw it in the first one, so why would they show it in the second? Right. But yeah, and it's about this musician who's on tour, and she's a very, very famous. You know what movie we forgot on our list is the Trap.
Yeah.
You missed a lot of movies on your list, bro.
You missed a lot of movies on your list.
You're the one who's regretting your picks now.
I liked Trap.
We're gonna have to recut this.
Yeah,
We're gonna
literally.
do a different version.
Well, I'll be back tomorrow to film this.
Yeah, top 27.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's about her trying to do this tour, and she's sober, and she's from drug addict, so she's going crazy, and then she's trying to not go back to an addict, and she's trying to and it's just about her just trying to deal with this, and it's wild because she's trying to meet fans and stuff, but the demon is making her crazy, and it's actually, honestly, I think it elevated the first one exactly how you said it.
Oh yeah,
I really do. I think it emphasized it really well.
That's cool.
I was gonna say something, but I'm starting to second guess myself.
I remember number 2 distinctly more than number 1, and I watched them both probably 2 days apart.
Did you see that movie, The Boogeyman? Did we talk about this one? Okay. It's possible it was Boogeyman. Was there a scene in Smile 1 where there's a room full of shotgun shells on the wall? Maybe it's Boogeyman. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I was going to say the best part of that movie... The reason why I bring it up, I was going to say the best part of Smile was the scene with the shotgun shells, but I'm starting to really second guess. I'm I think it might be Boogeyman. There's a scene where the main girl goes to see somebody who's also been affected by this, and the girl's like, oh, you believe me, come on, and then the person who was also affected, and she ends up drugging her, and then she wakes up and she's in the middle of a room, and there's it's just shotguns, fucking pointing in all directions and like shotgun shells and stuff connected. So the whole thing is, it's like she's trying to kill the creature, this woman, and she knows that the girl's like bait. Like she knows the creature likes the girl.
Oh.
So she's like, once the creature walks in, she's gonna like pull the switch and all of these shotguns are gonna go off. But I'm
Kill
like,
a girl.
That
Yeah.
was definitely
not
not
Smile.
in
Okay,
Smile.
that's Boogeyman.
Okay.
Never mind, my bad. Yeah.
If it wasn't Smile, sorry, but I definitely don't remember that.
It was the best scene though, where it's like, because the girl's on the floor like, what the fuck, and she's like, don't move. Because
Yeah,
if you
don't
move, you'll fucking die. And then you can hear the creature like slowly coming. And it's like, what the fuck? And she's like, I just need to get close enough. Just it's like, holy shit. It's a very cool scene. Anyway, fuck it. I apologize.
Take it
Going back
away
to
from
Smile
Smile.
too.
Yeah.
So okay, would you recommend it though?
Yes.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna check it out. I'm
Yeah,
gonna check
I
it
would
out.
recommend
heard-
watching them.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. They're easy.
Ooh.
They're very easy.
Okay.
Very quick. Boom,
I'm
boom.
gonna check both out because I know the first one she's like a shrink, right? She's like a psychiatrist.
Yeah. I know it's Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Oh, what?
Bacon.
Oh,
I
I
didn't
have to
even
check
know
it out
that.
In
now.
real life, yeah. That's
But I did love, I will say, the ending of number 2 was probably one of the best endings I've seen in movies in a long
Oh,
time.
okay.
That's
Does it
exciting.
leave it open for a third one? I'd hope so.
I'm not saying anything.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Gotta check it out.
We're gonna jump over to another Derrick movie. Only because not only have I not seen this movie, I've never even heard of this movie. Best Christmas pageant ever?
Yes. Yeah, so...
Go ahead.
Okay, it came out around the end of the year, last year, but it's...
Was it by chance Christmas time?
Yeah, Christmas time. It's very fitting for Christmas. But it's about how this one small town, I forget where, somewhere in America, where every year the church puts on this Christmas pageant of like the Christmas story, like the traditional like baby Jesus, way in the manger, wise men come, and the angel, blah blah blah. Okay, but it's big and it attracts people from all over.
Yeah.
But this year, the lady who's normally in charge of putting it on at the church like falls and breaks her hip or something like that. So the main character, her mom, is now tasked with putting it on, and she's in over her head. She's overwhelmed, right? So it's from the perspective of the main character girl who's like narrating like as an older woman, but is like for most of the movie is like a younger, like maybe like a 12-year-old girl or whatever.
Okay.
So in this town where everyone pretty much knows each other, everyone knows of this family of like misfit kids. There's like 6 like red-haired like kids that are just always getting into trouble. Parents aren't anywhere. They're in a lot of people's like bad books. They're nasty kids, so everyone tries to avoid them. So as this Christmas pageant's going on, they work their way into the Christmas pageant, like into the church, because they know there's food there. Like they're only there for like what benefits them. They find out that there's a Christmas pageant. They're into like movies. They watch a lot of TV. They're like, okay. They work their way in. The mom, who's like new to this, gets totally overwhelmed by them. They climb their way to the top. They're working their way into like the lead roles of this Christmas pageant now that everyone from all over is coming over. So these problem misfit children are now the stars of the Christmas pageant that everyone's coming to see. And there's like a lot of like chaos. There's also a lot of like, okay, so it's kind of, I would say it's like a Christian film a little bit, but it showcases a lot of like the Christian tropes, like people inside the church who are like super judgy and like nasty. It showcases them like not trusting these people, and like this whole story of like the Jesus story of like the fact that he was born in a manger and that we're all to like love people, even people that are like different than us. Like, and these 6 misfit children are actually like, we've never heard the Jesus story before. Like, what is it about? It like tells that story, and then like everyone in the church who like judges these kids and wants them out are really like not doing like the Jesus thing. And it's like, well, we should actually give these kids a chance because that's what Jesus would do. Okay. And it's like a really, so that obviously the pageant like goes on, and it's like a kind of a little bit like Saturday Night Light. It's like, are these kids even? There's a point where the kids get kicked out, and it's like we're kind of relying on them now, and like we don't even know if they're gonna show. They're like John Belushi, and it's like they show, and it's like this actually like sweet moment, and it's like a killer like Christmas pageant performance. Spoilers, but like you like
It was good.
yeah, it was good. And it's like this whole movie, you're like, bro, like these kids are trouble. Like these kids are no good. And it's like, well, like Jesus would have still loved them.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, that's like, it's, dude, it like, It tugs at my heartstrings. It's a really good. I wouldn't say like, yeah, you probably should watch it at Christmas time or whatever, because it's like it's a really good. I could see this catching on as like a Christmas tradition, like for maybe some people. But I highly recommend it because it's a movie. Okay, like look, I like a lot of sci-fi, like crazy, like Dune Part 2 is my favorite movie this year because it's this sci-fi epic
Yeah,
four
it's like
quadrant or whatever.
$500 million.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money on the table. This is like what's important about movies. Like at its core, it needs to be about good people or like good stories with important people in it, and it's bare.
Heart is important.
Right, and it's bare bones, and it's a really good story about people. And we're quick to judge people, I think, and like you don't know like who has what influence on like you in your life, and like you don't know what influence you can be on other people. Okay. So I really dig this. I highly recommend this movie. You want to feel good and not cry too much. Like The Remarkable Life of Ibelin, you're gonna bawl. Like, so if you don't want to bawl but you want to like feel good, highly recommend this movie. But,
right. Speaking of judging people, segue on to the next movie. One of my picks, I watched it fucking 2 days ago, and I'm like, oh, this movie is on the list.
Let's sneak in.
We got to talk about The Substance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch The Substance, Ashley?
No.
Okay. This movie's something else.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's good. I like it.
For the Ashleys of the world, what it's about is it stars Demi Moore, and she plays a aging aerobics instructor. I'm trying to figure out exactly what that's called.
That's
but anyway, like a television. It's like it takes place in the 90s, I believe.
I feel like it's got a 90s
it
vibe.
Doesn't
definitely.
say, but
it's
like,
undescript, but it's like
feels like it's the 90s.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she plays an aerobics instructor, like one of those television stars, right? Who's been a star for years, for like decades at this point.
She's old.
Yeah. And she looks fantastic, but like she is like, I want to say they say she's 50 in it, right?
Whoa, yeah, I think so.
I want to say Dennis, because Dennis Quaid plays the villain. He's
Actually,
fucking excellent as the
yeah,
villain.
it's actually it opens with her birthday. And it's like, and it's like it's one of those things where it's like everyone's wishing her happy birthday, but they're pretty much just jabbing the knife in. It's like, you're old.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
And what it's about is she ends up meeting this doctor who is really young, and he gives her this it's like a flash drive, so maybe it can't be the 90s. It has to be. It's a flash drive.
It's
who cares? It's one of those things.
Stylized.
Who fucking
It's stylized.
Anyway,
yeah,
he gives her a flash drive and just says The Substance and has a phone number on it. So she puts the flash drive in the computer, and it's like this video, and it's like, do you want to be a better, younger you? Then give me a call. I'll give you the substance is what you need. So she calls the number, and they give her this shot. And what it is it's a shot. You take the shot once, and you become two of you. There's like a second one of you, but the second person is a younger, like better you, I guess, theoretically better you. You know what I mean? However, both bodies are one body. So it's like every 7 days you have to switch off. So like when you're not like running around like being like alive, the other body is like in a comatose state being fed through an IV. And it's like, so every week you get your 2 7-day pouches, or every 2 weeks, I guess, you get your 2 7-day pouches for like the matrix self and then the other younger self. And it's like, you feed the IV and then what it is every day. So once a week, the younger self has to remove like a fluid from the older self. And every day you have to inject some of that fluid into yourself, and that's how you survive. That's like you're like, and like, and that's what it's about. It's like there's like a younger you running around, and then every 7 days an older you has to like pick up. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know. It's a fucking excellent movie. I thought it was really good. Sorry, the catalyst of the story though is she gets fired from her job. She's been like this star for decades. She gets fired because she's too old. Well, then she finds the substance. She makes a younger version of herself, and then the younger version gets her old job. And then it's like her younger, but like, and then there's like this thing where it's like, what happens if you go over 7 days? Do you know what I mean? And you know what I mean? And the consequences of that, and it's like this, like it goes to some fucked up places. That's all I'll say.
That's good. And actually, when I watched it with my wife, and actually one of those things I noticed, it's kind of like, so she's kind of battling with herself throughout this movie, and I couldn't help but feel like it was like a mother-daughter like complex a little bit, and I was like, oh wow, this is really interesting, because like, yes, it's one woman like
Yeah.
But it's
fighting
a
for her.
younger way of thinking to
Right.
Yeah.
common sense.
Right. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know, and it's like you're also trying to chase like your youth and your beauty and your value, when like you're more than that. You should think that you're more than that, but you're not. So I don't know. It's doing a lot of stuff like on the nose, really fun. It's also like, I don't know. There was a lot of body horror in it, but like
yeah.
like
body horror, like just
Yeah.
like there's a scene where like the younger one, there's like a protrusion like in her skin, and she like feeds it like, and it moves under her skin, and she like feeds it all the way around to her stomach, and she pulls like a chicken drumstick out of her belly button, stuff like that. It's fucking it's like a lot of like weird
And-
like holy shit stuff.
and it's like, is it real? Is it metaphor? Like for what it like? It's doing a lot of like weird. Like the whole movie is like a mind f a little bit, but it's also trying to. It's certainly saying something about like the search for like youth or like beauty or like trying to maintain your beauty or whatever. So,
Yeah. And like also it's also very
thing.
much about like using something and not realizing how much you need it until it's got like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It's fucking, I liked it a lot. Where it goes, I won't say where it goes, but here's the thing. You watch the movie and you know where it's going because you're like, I've seen a billion movies before. And then there's a third act and you're like, oh, I did not see this coming.
Yeah.
That's what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like where you think it's going, that's the end of the second act. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then there's
I
a whole
love that,
and there's a whole
though.
other third act where you're like, whoa, I
Okay.
did not see this coming. So I liked it a lot. Demi Moore was awesome in it.
yeah, she was really cool
Margaret,
in it. Yeah.
I'm gonna butcher the last name. Margaret Qualley. It's like a QU. She's
the
awesome
younger
as
version.
the younger version
yeah,
of herself.
yeah, she was cool.
Dennis Quaid is fucking excellent as the like almost like the Harvey Weinstein kind of
Yeah,
character.
sleazy TV producer that eats shrimp really grossly. Right?
Like, and all he talks about is how old she is. And then like there's the one scene where they're in the hallway and like all of like the flamingo dancers like run past them, and all he's doing is like staring at them. And it's like, dude, you're so gross, man. Even like in the shrimp eating scene, he's like mowing down shrimp, and it's just close-ups of his mouth. And then there's like a waitress who bends over and he just like blatantly looks at her like her ass, right? It's like, dude, like you're so fucking greasy, like.
Yeah.
But he's the guy who runs the studio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, this guy he's a pretty good villain. And it's Dennis Quaid, who is not really in stuff. He's not like that usually in movies.
No.
So
Yeah,
it's an interesting choice.
He's being very exaggerated.
Yeah,
Very,
it's
like,
different.
over
He's
the top.
definitely different than normal, but I liked it a lot. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah.
And it's nominated for Best Picture, right?
Yeah.
I
Is
think-
it? Yeah.
Is it Best Picture?
Here's the thing. I think it was really good at okay, once you're on board, like it sets up the rules, and then like once you watch things unfold, you're like, oh, wow, that's, and then it gets off the rails a little bit, and I can see why it's nominated for Best Picture. I kind of hope it gets for writing. I'm like I don't know what it's, if it's gonna.
cinematography is amazing as well.
Yeah.
The cinematography is fucking awesome in it. The opening, like we'll say 3 minutes of the movie is maybe even 5 minutes is, it's literally the creation of like a Walk of Fame star. Is that what they're
Yeah,
called?
they
Walk of
make
Fame?
like a Hollywood Walk of
star.
Fame.
Yeah, like a star Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it's like the creation of that.
But it's like a top-down shot. Like the camera's like bird's eye view looking at it, and it's like the whole process.
I would love that.
Right, and
How
it
cool.
never moves, and then it's like, and then once it's created,
Is it a time lapse?
yeah, and it's for the girl, the Elizabeth. So it keeps cutting, right? But it's like the camera never moves, but it's like it shows them like setting up the cement, and then it cuts to like them. You know what I mean? And then once the star is created, and then people are like, "Oh, look at her!" And then it's like the like reveal with the cameras and stuff and the red carpet, and then it like you could see the star slowly deteriorating. Like it gets cracks,
Because it's been there for so
right?
long,
And then
20 years.
and then people walk by and they're like, "Who the fuck is Elizabeth Sparkle?" And you know what I mean? And like stuff like that. Like, and it's just, and it's such an interesting, like, right off the bat, it's an interesting way to like to establish what the movie's about.
It did.
Yeah.
That's exactly. You had a star
Yeah, and like
who now is old.
yeah, and
Older. I don't like saying old.
and
He's
almost
older.
forgotten. That's like the whole like right. And
'Cause I was on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and I didn't recognize any of the names. I don't know anybody. And it's funny that I watch so many movies or whatever, and I have no. So I just had that feeling.
yeah, I hear you. No, I love this movie a lot. I thought it was really fun.
It's a weird movie.
It was fucking bizarre though. Like it was an interesting body horror movie.
One thing I want to say, it kind of reminded me of the body horror, like cringe factor was like Possessor.
Derek's pissing talking about Possessor.
Shit, sorry, I had to go pee.
No, you're good. So you want to say that one more time?
Yeah, I'm back. Okay,
Because it
yeah,
is
I'm back.
very much like Possessor,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. I was so it's like I remember when I went and saw Possessor, or actually I saw it at home. It was like my
It was your birthday, wasn't it?
it was my birthday.
Yeah,
I
'cause
forget.
remember
what
I saw you were like, I watched Possessor for
Yeah.
my birthday. I'm like,
Yeah,
really?
I'm like I could handle gory movies or whatever. So I will say the substance is gory and like this
yeah.
weirdly intimate. Where like it's a body horror movie like Possessor was, where it's like blood and guts and like inside the body and stuff like that. Like this movie's doing like exploring all that, and it was cringy like Possessor, not cringy like bad, just like ooh, I'm squeamish. So it's like I was like very squeamish during the substance. So it's like you have to have a.
It's hard to watch.
Oh yeah, I'll warn
And
you
it's
ahead. Yeah, so-
fucked up. It goes to some
yeah. But that's fun. I think
yeah.
that's good. More movies should be exploring stuff like that. I don't know.
Moving on,
Tusk did that for me. I could barely watch
right?
it.
If that Tusk is, it's. A
I've never
similar
seen
movie.
Tusk. Okay, I'll have to check
Oh,
Tusk out.
Steven told me to watch it.
Well, first of all, I didn't tell you to watch it. I told you what the movie was about, and you were
Oh!
like, "There's
That's what
no
it was.
way."
I'm like,
this
there's
movie
no way. And I'm like,
exists."
so it's just Justin Long going, orf, orf. And he's like, dead serious. And I'm like, there's no fucking way Justin Long went arf, arf. Justin Long goes arf, arf. Yeah, and it's like, but when you
Spoiler.
watch it, you're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
it's a pretty.
That's
fucked up
all
movie.
that's all you're saying for an hour is
Oh,
what? What is like
Do I-
Centipede, like that kind of like where you're just staring
oh,
at
like
TV.
Human Centipede. Yeah.
Like where you gotta rethink your life choices. Like what am I even
Yeah.
doing?
What did I do was this?
Like what am I doing with
no,
my life?
I wasn't rethinking my life choices. I was rethinking the person on the end's life choices, like number 3, like
Yeah.
of the Human Centipede, or the one in the middle, especially.
Well,
Like
I
as an
haven't-
actor, like you think this is a good look for you. Like,
I didn't
Yeah.
actually watch that movie. I just know
Human
like
Centipede?
I kind of watched. They showed me what I needed to see, and that was it. I never actually watched
trailer's enough. I think you better.
Centipede. Anyways, continue.
Moving on. Ashley's second last movie. We're gonna do A Quiet Place Part 3.
Oh,
Oh.
Technically,
Part 3 or day
well,
1?
hold up. Yeah, it's technically a day one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Quiet Place day one, but it's the third Quiet Place movie. But I also really, really liked this movie. I know Derrick was not the biggest fan, if I recall.
I think here's the thing. I love the going to get a slice of pizza, but it should have ended when they went and got the slice of pizza. Like
yeah,
nothing
it's like
else mattered.
yeah, it's like movie's over once you get that.
Yeah,
but
you got the pizza girl, like it's done. I don't think I like Lupita Nyong'o when she's like the robot in Wild Robot. I didn't quite like her like in this movie. I felt like she wasn't somebody like aside from her quest to get a slice of pizza. I wasn't really on board for her. She seemed kind of nasty as a person. And I get it. She's dying of cancer.
Yeah.
You don't have to be polite or smile or whatever. But it's just like even the people around her would be like, yo, F you, girl. I don't know.
I don't know. I liked that the movie was about a person who's okay. Sorry, the movie is about the world ending from the perspective of somebody whose world is ending. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I thought that was very clever. It's like tackling an apocalypse movie from somebody who is dying of cancer. It's like it's
don't
like
care.
it's almost
Yeah.
like an outside like. She's like, oh, this is what I feel like all the time, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like
and
everybody's
the
like
only thing
what I
that
want
will bring them any type of
is a slice of pizza.
a slice of
and
pizza.
and there's time like there's a deadline on the pizza, man. Like
Yeah.
it's like it's gonna go bad soon. Like we have to go now. Yeah.
I thought it was a fantastic movie.
I loved it.
personally.
Here's the thing. I'm fine with it, like because it's like a game of like who can be the quietest,
Yeah.
right, or whatever. I'm like that's cool, but like you have kind of like a whole city, and like
you could have had other people like you could explore with her, and then like there could be other like the fact that Djimon Hinsu was in there. I was like, maybe you could have utilized him more because he's in the second one.
He's in the
like,
second one, yeah.
right? So it's like maybe like he could have been like more of like a character in it. They didn't like whatever. Let's do what you want. But like for me, the scenes where you're either being very quiet or like you're getting massacred, like when they're all collective, like all the people are slowly getting together, and like I'm getting anxiety because I'm like, man, this is too many people.
I would never fucking wall through.
Yeah.
I
people.
would just because it's less target on yourself.
No,
No, you're getting for how fast these things move, and like if you weren't paying attention by now for how quickly they move, they'll come at you like a lawnmower and like just buzz down a whole bunch of you just for whatever, just to get one of you. It's like I'm not going anywhere near the squeaky luggage lady. It's like, are you kidding me with that? Like, are you seriously like nobody's noticing the squeaky luggage wheel right now? Like, get away from that lady. Like, that's fun. Like I like that because that all those rules are established in the first movie and they carry over throughout this like the franchise. But I think once you get the pizza, like it doesn't matter now. Like it doesn't like how the outcome doesn't matter because I know the outcome in like later movies. It should have been more about the pizza.
Well, I mean, it was right. I think it. I mean, not spoiling the ending too much, but like.
We've all seen it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I love that scene at the end.
Me
with
too.
the pizza. I think that where he like she doesn't get the pizza, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
She gets a different pizza, and then he does the magic trick. I love it. I think it's a great scene. But that's the thing, right? Because that's her story. Is she wants the pizza, and she kind of gets the. She technically does.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about pizza. It's more about going somewhere one last time.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? It's like I just want to
feeling normal.
see this place one last time. Because that's where her dad took her when she was younger and stuff like that. And then once the pizza's gotten, then it's more his story.
Yeah.
She's like, it's more like, okay, now that you helped me, I will help you get where you have to go.
Yeah.
And that's why I like that ending. Here's the thing: the guy who directed this movie is the guy who directed Pig. He directed that a couple years ago.
Oh, I like Pig more.
That was my favorite movie that year.
Yeah,
I fucking
Pig was
loved
really good.
Pig. That was
Yeah.
a good movie. And this was not as good as Pig. But there was a lot of little things where I'm like, oh, it's like they took that guy and they gave him a big budget. They're like, what would you do with it? And he's like, well, I'd make just a really quiet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those moments are the best. The moment with like the marionette and the moment with like him doing the magic trick. Like those are the best scenes in the movie.
Uh-huh.
And they're fucking like little like indie movie scenes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Actually, also too, I will say the cinematography in this movie is really beautiful. I think everything, even the destruction, like the ugliness, it's really beautiful.
Is this the one where they were under the fountain? And they were able to
there's,
talk?
There's a scene under the fountain in the park.
And they were able to talk because of the water?
Yeah. Because they did the same thing in the first one.
Which is,
but it's a waterfall.
Which is a throwback to the waterfall from the first one. Yeah, that's right.
Because you said I saw the second one. I don't remember the second one at all.
Oh, no?
The second one's really good.
I like the second one a
I
lot.
swear you told me we saw it together in the movie theater, and I don't remember it at all.
I say the second one certainly amplifies what the first one does, but it does build on a way to be able to defeat them.
That's it.
Which
so
is very important.
It introduces a weakness.
Yeah.
In the second one, which the third one also shows, which is they can't swim.
Yeah.
They were on the...
Yeah, they cannot swim. That's one thing they notice, and like you don't see it in the first one because they're all landlocked, but like the second one they get on. So what you find out is there's a bunch of islands where there are no aliens because they can't swim. They can't get to them. So like
It can't be a coincidence, so they just estimate.
Right, and that's just it. So it's like the second movie, what it's about is the boy is on the radio and he hears a radio broadcast from an island that says like if you come here, you will be safe.
Yeah.
So it's about them trying to get to a boat to get to that. So okay, hold up. So the girl who's like deaf goes first. And then what it is Cillian Murphy from like 28 Days Later, he's in the second one and he plays a guy who like
he's like the opposite. So it's like if in the first one Jim from The Office sacrifices himself for his family, Cillian Murphy did like the opposite and like
he left them to die
pretty much sacrifices his family to save himself.
Yeah,
so
he's like the piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like reverse Jim from The Office.
Right.
So now this is his redemption tour. He gets to send his neighbor's kids off to like go save the world.
Yeah, so like the little girl runs off from the first one, runs off to like find the island. because there's the baby, right? They have the baby, so they can't all go. So the little girl just goes without telling anybody. And then what it becomes is Cillian Murphy, who's a real piece of shit in the movie, is like, I have to go fucking get her back. And then once he finds her, she's like, I'm going. Like, you can come with me if you want. So then it becomes the two of them going.
What's the one where it's like a bunch of neighbors are having like a party in the lawn? And
That's the second one.
That's the second one.
They're on the island. There's a point where they get to the island and there's a fucking massacre. Sorry, there's a massacre.
We totally did see the second one.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I remember. We saw it at the drive-in.
Yeah.
We saw that, and we saw.
I think.
I think I only know that part because of TikTok.
No,
maybe.
we saw it. We saw it.
You were positive that I saw it.
I
with
remember
you.
seeing it. It was because it was during COVID.
We had a double feature.
And we filmed the Seven podcast in the car before the movie started.
I don't remember at all the second one. I just remember the first
That's
one
right.
vividly. I remember all the chips in the grocery aisle.
Yeah.
Because nobody will eat chips.
There's one scene in the second one that I'm like, it's fucking excellent. Where it's at the very end, so it's kind of a spoiler, but not really. But
It's not
the whole thing is she has to get into the radio booth, and there's a monster like in the building, so they can't like make any noise. So he has to like lift her up and then like kind of be her counterbalance while she like puts her foot in the window, and then you see her like foot go in, and then like you see it coming down, and you can see like a can of paint, like a spray paint that's like right there. And then like she misses it. And then you see another thing. It's like, it is the most intense fucking thing. Cause it's like, if they knock one thing over, this monster is going to just rip through them.
Kill him, yeah.
And it's like,
Well, it's going to rip through him.
Yeah.
Because she's already half in.
Wow, it's
Her
it's
legs
probably
already in.
yeah. That's
I'll
not
straddle that bad boy. And
it's
throw
gonna
my
scissor
body
him up
over.
like pair of scissors. Like it's gonna cut them all out. So, I think like okay, going back, I think day one is something I wanted to see. I wanted to see a big massacre, and it's like it gave that to me while also giving me like an intimate, like tiny little story too, and that's fine. I'm fine that this movie exists. I'm just kind of waiting for part 3 where they like give the fight to the aliens and like take back planet Earth. But I don't know if like that's like the movie anyone's interested in making, because it's like I feel like it was a strange direction to go for this movie.
Yeah.
But I like how intimate it was, and I like that the same rules apply, because I think that's what's fun about the whole franchise. It's just you have to be very quiet. Yeah.
that's what makes it work.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I saw it with 2 girlfriends in a movie theater, which was not the right movie to see. Because we're all just giggling.
Yeah, you're ruining it for everyone else.
I know. I don't care. It was a good time.
I can tell.
I don't care about anybody else. Really.
All right, moving on. Derek's last pick,
My last pick.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Also
Oh.
really high on my list, actually.
Yeah,
So you took it from me, but I'm cool with it.
Whatever, that's fine. I think so. It's like, yeah, I'll describe it. Kind of events that take place after like the reign of Caesar. So if you don't know, there's a prequel trilogy of like Planet of the Apes movies involving like Caesar, who's like you're kind of like your intelligent ape, and then goes on to like teach apes who are like smart, like how to like talk and communicate, and he makes like a whole city around it. So now like after Caesar, who's like this.
So James Franco had Caesar.
Yeah, James
and
Franco.
then there was those 3, and then
Yeah.
they made a prequel.
No, so this is like
no.
after Caesar. So this is like after Caesar's been gone. There's actually like a group of apes who are like in the name of Caesar, like religious nut jobs,
Okay.
gathering apes to help get them open a vault of like human like army equipment. So there's one
Okay,
like
so they're
crazy.
gonna resignate Caesar's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one crazy ape is like invoking the name of Caesar and like all that like Caesar belongs. So he's taking religion and like turning it for himself. But now there's this clan of like our main hero, like our hero ape, is like from this clan of like apes that like raise like birds, like falcons, and like to use them for like hunting and like gathering and like a very like
And they're a monkey.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody's monkeys in this movie. So there's
Okay.
like there's only a couple humans in this movie. Everyone else is a CGI ape. But this clan is like separate from the other like religious Caesar clan, right? Trying to get into the human stuff. But eventually the Caesar clan crosses over with like our hero clan and like decimates them, and then now our hero has to like go and like
and takes them as slaves. Yeah.
yeah, they pretty much get turned into slaves, but then our main hero has to like go and fight with the help of a human who's like smarter than your average human, who they've all been in the last trilogy, they've all been wiped out by this disease that's made them not able to talk.
So it's like all the disease, the virus that made the monkeys smart it killed humans.
Yeah.
Like to primates it makes them smarter, but to humans it makes it so they can't. Yeah, at first they can't speak, and then they'll
slowly over generationally they'll get stupider.
Yeah, or I figured they just die off. Yeah, and then they meet a human who can actually speak, and it's like, whoa, we haven't seen this ever. Because this takes place 500 years after the last one, right?
I'm not sure how long it is. Maybe 500 years. It's a lot of time.
500 years, but I could be wrong.
It maybe it is like because like
it could be. I want to say it's at least 100 years. It's like it's a long time.
Yeah, and there's a lot of overgrowth too because they're like they go into cities and stuff like that, and there's trees growing out of stuff like humans
would take 100 years.
Yeah,
right?
humans have not been around for a long while, and it's mostly like apes, right? So it's like, but I don't know, like CGI, like special effects are top notch. It's doing a lot of stuff like with politics, but like through the lens of sci-fi and like monkey movies, and there's a lot of like, okay, so this vault that they're trying to get into obviously has like military weapons, like. This monkey has like a human with him that's telling him like this stuff will be good for him and benefit him, and this human is pretty much just trying to like he's just trying to survive, but it's like you're actually you're killing apes in the process while trying to like become more powerful ape at the same time or whatever. And I think Kevin Durant, who's in Abigail, is actually like
I thought about that.
This evil, like he has a crown too. It makes him look like Batman, so I call him like the Batman ape. But it's like he's like this evil Batman ape, and like I'm so bummed out. Like I don't know when it'll take time to like get nominated for like a CGI performance. I don't know, but Kevin Durant's performance as this like evil ape like on this quest for power makes me really happy.
So they obviously talk.
Oh yeah. So it's like they're all so with the events that happen in the trilogy, apes become smarter and able to communicate, whereas humans lose that ability. So it's like they switch places. It's like humans become apes and apes become humans. So by this time, everybody's talking, and some apes are more intelligent than others. The bird clan that like our hero clan is from
suck if they lost.
Well, they suck because they're peaceful.
Right?
They're peaceful, but they're great communicators. They don't need to like war to be good communicators. But now the other, like the Caesar tribe, turns out that the kings are really good communicator, but a lot of their people like shut up and don't say a lot, right? Like
they just follow. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Very like reminiscent.
He's just got a bigger army. He's just got a massive army, right?
And that's what he's doing. He's just accumulating people. Like he's just growing an army. Dude, it's great. And it's like I love monkeys doing human things, and these are humans playing monkeys doing human things, riding horses, or like with like torches and like riding through like the forest like very like menacingly. Like this imagery is really beautiful to me, and it's doing a lot of like cool sci-fi things that I really love. And
I was gonna say I'm kind of upset you did another spoiler. You told me the monkeys were CGI, and I'm not really happy.
Oh well, like
I was hoping they were real.
Okay, well,
just kidding.
Like going back to the James Franco one, and this is what's so cool about these movies, and where I struggle like to know. Like, okay, what's so like great about the CGI? And I don't know if it's like because it's like I feel like okay, the Franco one, it's like I can tell it's maybe like it's still good, but it's like the CGI is not going to grow well with time, I think. But
when was that movie out?
Oh, I forget.
Even
when
I
that
remember watching that. It was a long time ago.
It was
2011.
That was when
maybe?
he was in like 148 or 128 hours or whatever.
It came out. I know it was post Avatar because the technology that they made or used in Avatar.
He discovered it for Avatar, right?
Yeah, they modified it from Avatar to use for the Planet of the Apes movies where you could make anywhere a volume. Before Avatar was like, we have to shoot in this warehouse. Well, now we want to shoot in a forest. Well, we'll take our actor to the forest and set up cameras and like things and like
cool.
do the motion capture like on set. That was a huge groundbreaking thing for like the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and they've just been daisy chaining that technology and improving upon it each iteration. And this one especially, like where most of your characters are apes, that's more motion capture, that's more CGI, that's more There's a lot of impressive CGI actually in it, and I think dude. There's a point where there's a monkey in water, like water rushing around him, and it's like that's all CGI, and it's like that's looking really good, dude. Like that looks really good. So it's like the
looks awesome. It's
visual effects are top notch, and like it adds to the story really well. It, like really helps.
Because it's like Avatar when they were swimming and stuff, and I'm like, wow, like that looks great.
No, it's true.
Yeah, it's good. And it also, this movie builds for more to come. Like that you could keep making more after this if you wanted to. So but yeah, sick.
Yeah. I just had a weird moment. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, did the movie come out this year? And I'm like, and how did I forget about it?
Yeah.
How is it not on my list?
You know, we had a Ghostbusters movie this year.
I didn't even see
Or
it.
like, sorry, this year. I mean, last year.
Yeah.
Right. Right. What number is this in total? What are we at?
Well, we only have 3 left. Oh, 2 left.
2 left.
Because you just did your last one.
Okay.
Yep. So this is my last one, and then the last one is Ashley's. I left it on at the end on purpose. So I'm going to ask you: was Furiosa this year?
Yeah, it was like last year. Yes, it was.
I
Yeah.
can't believe you didn't do It Ends
Yeah.
With Us last. That would have been like a do-do-do.
I should have. I know. I thought about that after.
Let's just
It ends.
retape it.
It ends with us. No, we
Then
can't
I'll put
now.
Trap in.
We're so close. We're so close to the end. We can't do it now.
Because here's the thing. So I was really going back and forth between A Real Pain and Late Night with the Devil.
Oh,
I like both of them, but I think I like Furiosa more. I'm gonna
then
throw,
either of those ones.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
gonna throw
okay.
Furiosa on the list. I think.
Okay. Actually, it's one. Okay, here's the thing. I think it's fine that it exists. I feel like there were just other movies that kind of just impressed me in different ways. Like, look, I feel like this movie's still good. Like, it's still an interesting Mad Max adventure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is it hard to say that, or is it maybe difficult to say this? But like, Fury Road is still.
Oh, Fury Road is a way better movie. Fury Road's an amazing movie.
Okay, but is it like, can you ever make another Mad Max movie again and not compare it to, like, that's what I'm saying is
that's
like
the problem, right?
Like,
Here's the
how
thing.
much time do you need
Right?
between movies?
I
Right?
apologize. I'm totally cutting you off.
No,
but-
no, no, it's fine. I'm riffing here, dude. I don't know.
So Furiosa is way more like a Mad Max movie than Mad Max Fury Road is. However,
Yes.
right? However, there's one. So the movie's about, I think it's 5 chapters. It could be. There's a few chapters either way.
Few
There's
too
a
many.
middle chapter with her and Petroleum Jack, whatever the fuck his name is. That's probably not right. Petroleum. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Jack.
One of the
The guy
warlords.
who's pretty much Mad Max. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Mad Max, dude. That's okay.
And they're on the war
Yeah.
rig going from like one to the other. And I'm like, this chapter is pretty much Mad Max Fury Road. And it's the best chapter for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is what I want to see.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
true.
That is the problem with the movie is all I'm going to do is compare it to Mad Max Fury Road, which was, I don't think it was my favorite that year, but I think it was one of my favorite movies that year.
It was a good movie of the year it came out.
Yeah,
I feel like
wanna
it's
say Baby Driver
2015
came out that year
or
too. I don't say that
2016.
was my favorite, but I could be wrong on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I liked this movie because it did things different. Like he could have just done Mad Max Fury Road again, and we
can't
would
do
have
it
all been
again,
fucking
though.
happy.
Yeah, but like I also would have been upset. I'm like, what, another chase movie again? Like you clearly can't. I'm glad he didn't do another chase movie again. I'm glad he did it more about like the politics or like the inner workings and how she kind of works her way through all that or whatever. Like that's I knew that was coming. He clearly liked Furiosa a lot more, even in Fury Road. Like Mad Max is kind of like there.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the Jack character is pretty much Mad Max.
Oh, which disappoints me because it's like
I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
Yeah, but like, just give me Mad Max, man. Like, if you're gonna give me somebody who looks exactly like him, just give me Mad Max. Like,
Yeah.
why can't he have like influence? Like, again, like I liked. Okay, everyone was upset about Tom Hardy because he's like, oh, it's not Mel Gibson, blah blah blah, whatever. It's like clearly he's whoever like describes him in the story that they're telling. And
I
he,
like that
looks
theory
different.
too,
Yeah.
where it's like Mad
Right.
Max isn't a person; he's a story,
Right.
or like you know what I mean. And
Right.
it's like
He's
it's
like-
like it doesn't matter.
He's an encounter,
Yeah.
right? Like it's like, oh, that time I met this guy in black leather, like in the
right?
desert or whatever.
We probably talked about this before. Did you ever watch? There was a animated Batman movie that came out. Sorry, Ashley. Trying really hard.
Not to crinkle the bag.
There's an animated Batman movie that came out in between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. And it took place, Batman Begins was year 1, obviously, and then this was Gotham Knight. Took place in year 2. And then The Dark Knight was supposed to be like year 3 or whatever. So, and it was like several different stories. It was like from different animators and shit. But it all took place in like the Christopher Nolan universe. It was actually fucking excellent. It was very good.
You never saw it.
But there was one story, and it was about these 4 kids who were at school. And they're like, I saw Batman this morning. And all of them are like, oh, I saw Batman this morning too. And they're all telling their stories of how they saw Batman. And if you link the 4 stories together, it's one continuous story. Right. So it's like Batman's fighting a villain on a rooftop, and then they like fall into the water, and then they get out of the water somewhere else, and they continue fighting, and then they like go somewhere else, and they continue fighting. But it's like, so the 4 kids just so happen to be at the 4 different locations, and they see the fight in all spots. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, their perspectives are different.
However, every kid describes both Batman and the villain completely different.
Yeah.
So from their perspective, like the first one, Batman's literally like a shadow. He's like just this black smoke that like and teleports, and he's like, and there's one where like the villain's a literal, or like Batman's a literal robot.
Yeah.
He's like this giant, like, and it's like, and I love the idea of perspective.
You're right.
And I think of Mad Max is like kind of like, I like that idea. I love that idea where it's like Tom Hardy is just somebody's version of Mad Max.
Right. And like that was fine.
What was that Batman movie called?
It's called Gotham Knight. I recommend it. It's actually fucking excellent. Yeah. It's very, very, very cool. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But it's like, and I'm fine with Tom Hardy, but this movie also seems to, while everything's going on, also interject a Mad Max like shot in it, and I'm like, oh, that's strange. It's like you're like, stop comparing it then. Like if you're like, if this is not a Mad Max thing, then
if it's a Furiosa thing,
right,
why
like,
do we have Mad Max?
Right, make it what it's about then or whatever. So it's like, I don't know. For me, I liked seeing her get the arm like off. It's pretty much like is my takeaway from it is like I like the action up to the arm loss and like all the action around like trying to escape where they were trying to get away from it and stuff like that. I thought all that stuff's really fun. But
my biggest problem with the movie, I mean, this isn't a spoiler. It is, but it isn't, because I won't really talk about too much. But the end of the movie, they do this weird thing where they try to stitch it to Fury Road.
Yeah,
and it doesn't work for me. I don't really like it. They just try to like.
Trying too hard.
They're trying too hard to be like, oh, then this happens, and then this happens, and all of a sudden she's Charlize Theron.
Hey, remember? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, why did you do that? Why did you have to do that? And then the end credits is them literally showing Fury Road, like the whole movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, but this is a prequel movie. Why? What if people want to go watch Fury Road after this? Why would you spoil that movie? It doesn't make any sense.
Because made me people wait till after the credits, see if there's an after credits scene. So now you're just wasting that whole.
Yeah,
it made me just want to go watch Fury Road, like the whole movie did, and like I feel like that's not what a movie should make me do. Like it should make me want to do that too, I guess. Yeah. But like, I felt like the whole movie didn't add enough to the lore for me to be like, I'm watching that one again. Like I don't know. Like I also think like we talk about like it's great to see Chris Hemsworth, but like
Chris Hemsworth as the villain is fucking excellent.
Yeah, I also think
the best part.
I also feel like he's just, I want to choose scenery, I want to act, and they're like, yeah, we'll just give you like scenes where you can just be a goofball in it, like lose your nipples or whatever. Like, and it's like I think that's funny, but like I kind of wanted him to like amount to something different or something, or redeem himself. I don't know, like be a cool hero maybe. And like forget that, never mind, like whatever.
I like a villain who comes off as like, oh, they're just they're like irrational or like a fool.
Definitely.
And then it turns out they're actually way smarter than you give them credit for, and they're actually really capable people. I love a villain that's like that. He is that person, and he's not afraid to like sacrifice people to save himself.
Well, yeah, so a survivor for sure.
It's like, oh my god, like I think he's a great villain. I think he's really fun. His chariot is the coolest fucking thing in the world.
Oh, I agree.
He's got this chariot, and it's like it's a chariot, and it's 3 motorcycles instead of horses. So it's him like, yeah. It's like
That's pretty cool.
It is the coolest fucking thing. Like the only thing
Not
that's
as cool as like the hanging bass player.
That's the only thing that's
Yeah.
the Doof Warrior with the fucking
Yeah.
flamethrower is the only thing that's cooler than that.
Yeah, see, again, we're still comparing the movie to
Yeah.
Fury Road and how much Fury Road's better. Look, it's a good try. Like, I'm glad we're getting more Mad Max like lore or whatever, but I'm kind of just, I'm okay if it's like another Mad Max story next time, if we get the approval or the money or like whatever. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
actually, it's okay, it's whatever. So,
All right, want to move on to the last movie?
hold on. Yeah.
All right,
Final. Oh, we're down. We're
this
down.
is it.
I don't understand why this is the last movie. It's so weird. You planned it.
It's for sure a movie that we've all seen. So I wanted to end on a movie that we've for sure all seen. It ends with us. Would have been the better choice because we all did see
We
that.
talk about the
I
drama.
didn't think about it
Yeah,
until
too,
after the fact.
Ended on the drama of it ends with us.
Yeah. Ashley's last pick because I'm going through making sure I said all mine. Yep. The last movie on the list,
Oh my goodness, you're killing me.
Twisters.
Twisters. Oh, you know what? I wanted to talk about this movie only because I think as far as like movie cars go, like there's movie cars throughout history, like the Dukes of Hazzard car, even though it's a TV show, Dukes of Hazzard car.
Batmobile.
The Batmobile, right, or whatever. The pickup truck, double drill into the ground so you can like sit through a twister, like as it like drives over you. That is like magic.
It's fucking cool.
That's sick. I want one.
It's
I
even
want one.
cooler when you introduce the fireworks.
Yeah.
Shooting into the
Into
tornado.
the twister. Yeah. Like
This is the coolest fucking thing in the world. Like,
yeah. So it's like as far as movie cars go, sir, you've outdone yourself. I want one. When can I get one? And I'm like, I'm proud of that movie doing that. Other than that, though, I feel like it could have done more in some regard. But like you talk to me. Talk positive. Talk positive. Yeah, I'm gonna just trash this movie. Other than the truck, all I have anything positive to say is about the truck. I'll just shut up now.
I like this movie a lot.
So did I.
I liked the movie a lot. My biggest problem with the movie is the fact that it was called Twisters. Like the fact that it was a sequel to Twister.
Oh yeah.
Here's the thing. I like Twister a lot. I think Twister is a fucking.
It's one of those iconic movies,
right.
though.
It's a banger of a movie too. It's like it's one of those things where I watched it before we went and saw Twisters, and I didn't. First of all, I didn't realize how much I liked that movie until I watched it this time. I was like, holy fuck, I love Twister.
It's a good movie.
The movie never stops though.
Yeah.
It's literally.
Well, they stopped for a bite to eat at what's her
That's
face's
the
at the aunt's house.
But
Yeah.
legit, you ready? So
Which one are we talking about?
the first one. Sorry.
We're talking about the OG.
Yeah, so her dad dies in the beginning.
Spoiler.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, it's this movie we're allowed.
Yeah.
And we've all seen Twisters, so we're gonna spoil it to you.
Bill Paxton shows up like within fucking seconds.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, there's a tornado. We're gonna go." And Bill Paxton's like, "I guess I have to go too." They go to that.
Oh, because they have the divorce paper.
Right?
Yeah.
They go. They fight the tornado. They talk for a split second. What's that? Another tornado? They go to another tornado. They fight that bad boy, and then they're like, "Hey, let's go grab a bite to eat." They go to the aunt's house. Exposition. What's that? Another tornado.
Yeah.
They go to another tornado. They're like, "Oh my God, this is awesome. Let's go to the drive-in." What happens? Another tornado? It's like, who the fuck would live in this place? It makes no sense the amount of tornadoes that are happening, but it's so like, what action scene, exposition, action scene, action scene,
They did that in the second one.
to the end. The second one, it's not as like
Action.
banger like that. It's not as tight, but
I feel like there's more exposition. There's more talking.
it's a lot more exposition. But
Yeah.
Well, I learned a lot more in the second one, though.
it's true. Yeah, my biggest problem with the movie though is they were like, but that's it. They weren't trying to be at all. But it's just the idea that it was like, this is a sequel to Twisters. It's like, no, it's not. This is a completely different movie that's about tornadoes and tornado wranglers or whatever the fuck you want to call them. But like
Tornado chasers.
storm chasers. But I did like it a lot. I thought it was great. Glenn Powell's fucking awesome.
I think so, too.
He's got movie star like potential,
Oh,
and
he's
I feel like
dreamy,
I
for
feel like I
sure.
realized it in this movie.
Yeah,
Like I'm
there's
like,
a
oh, okay.
scene.
All right.
There's a scene where he's leaving her house and he's got a white shirt on in the pouring rain. My wife was like, yeah, they know their audience. Yeah, they know what's going on here. There's no reason he's wearing a white
That's
shirt.
why I'm here.
Yeah. No reason why he's wearing a white shirt in the rain. It makes no sense.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You got the chick in the first one wearing a white shirt the whole movie.
And that's what's
it
funny,
rained
too.
the whole movie.
It's like a
true.
throwback.
So fuck you guys.
I like that.
first
No,
off.
it's just nothing wrong with that. That's okay.
You got Rachel with no bra and friends for like 8 seasons.
Hey,
Fuck
I'm not
off.
complaining.
fuck? Where the
I'm
friends
not
from?
not a peep out of me. I'm fine. That's okay. I here's what I'm kind of disappointed about. If you're gonna lean into the Twisters thing, I think Helen Hunt, whatever reason she's not in it, should have been in it, and she should have got sucked out by a tornado at some point, just like her dad.
That's
I'm
how it
like,
opens, yeah.
it's just like it would have been sad and tragic, but like it would have also been like, we got to go get that tornado, and you'd be like, yeah, because it killed your dad and your grandfather. Like it'd be like, I don't know,
No, I agree. So
Yeah.
here's the thing. So apparently Helen Hunt was making a version of this movie.
right?
Where she
Right.
was like a professor. And she like meets a bunch of people who are like-minded, and they decide to go hunt storms, and then she decides to like help them or like save them. I don't know, fucking know, but I'm like, I'm into that. I'm into that idea. That's a great idea. Like,
That's a good legacy sequel like plot. I'm into that, right?
here's
Or
the
whatever.
thing.
Yes.
When she's like, or she goes to visit, it's not her mom, it's her aunt, right?
I forget who she goes to visit,
Yeah.
but it should be Helen Hunt instead.
Right? It's
Yeah.
like, I think it's her aunt, but it could be her mom. I think I don't fucking
It
remember.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Anyway,
should matter.
when she says, oh, because they say a couple times, oh, you're going to go visit her? You're going to go visit her? She's like, okay, I'm going to go visit her. You're like, here comes Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
And then when it's Moira Tunney, whoever the fuck it is, I'm like, the fuck
Who's
is
this
she
girl?
doing here?
Yeah.
The woman from Liar Liar. That's all I know. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Right?
The pen
Well,
is blue.
Yeah.
The pen is blue.
Okay.
But yeah, no, the movie, I like the movie a lot, though. Go ahead. I don't know, what do you want to say? Say something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I already said I liked it. I loved it.
Okay.
You guys said exactly what I needed to say.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there's also another cute scene, and maybe whatever. It's like that actress is fine. Like I think, but there's a cute scene where they're like observing like a cloud, and they're like really excited that the cloud means like a tornado. And I would have liked more of it, but also at the same time, it needs to be like a fast pace. Like we're chasing storms and we're trying to like model them or whatever. I don't know. I like it did that good too. I did like the corporate team versus like the ragtag like group of misfit team or whatever. Like you have that also kind of like a thing from the first movie that's brought in, but you're kind of on like a different side of that.
That's
now
it.
you're on the corporate
it's
side.
the same thing. It's just switched a little bit.
Yeah, right. And I'm
So
like,
now
I'm
you're
in
on
that.
the corporate side.
Yeah.
And it's like, it turns out, oh, he's a dick. It's like, well, of course, you should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
It's like the ragtag group are awesome. But he kind of starts out as a dick himself, though. And that's kind of weird.
That's okay. That's right. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I'm into the romantic part of this movie. The twistery part of it, or whatever, I feel is like it's just it's there. Like
Sure.
it was. I don't know. It's like it's scary. Like it's like it was. But I don't know. Maybe I saw it actually at the drive-in. I don't know if that.
Oh,
maybe,
that'd be a fun driving movie.
Yeah, right. I was worried the whole time. It's like, is it gonna rip right through? I don't know.
Yeah.
Kidding, but-
So we saw it So we went and saw it at the Screen X. It's like this new theater.
is that with the elongated screen on the sides?
it's like this new and so we have like a nearby mall. There's like one screen, and it's the walls on all sides, but it's only for like big scenes.
Yeah.
like it, almost like if they were filming like an IMAX camera. It's almost like those.
It's
scenes.
for those scenes.
It's fucking really distracting.
Yeah.
It's like, and then there's where the screen, like where like the corner of the room is, there's just a black line. And you're like, this is not.
It's not even a real
It's
thing.
just distracting.
They're just trying to do like the Dome in Vegas, like the best that they can or
Yeah.
whatever. Actually, I went and saw Captain America: Brave New World on Screen X. That was my first time, and I'm like, if I'm going to see any movie, a character with wings that fill like the corner walls or whatever kind of makes sense or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's like one scene where he pops the wings out and then like they fill the walls or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I got my money's worth. But, like, other than that, I'm like, it's very gimmicky. I don't think I really like. We were desperate. Like it was kind of like it was Valentine's Day. We were like, we needed to get in. It's like it just happened to be that screen. But I don't know if I would. Like, do you think that? Okay, going back to Twisters, do you think that experience like hindered your experience
I don't
at
think
all?
it hindered
Like,
it necessarily, but it wasn't like
ideal, I guess. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you want to say, Ash?
No,
You're good?
you guys said what I needed to say.
All right, perfect.
I'm really happy with this list. I think it's a really well rounded list. There's a lot from different I don't know. There's just
Agreed.
yeah.
It's very well
Good
balanced.
pick. Good pick, everybody. Good job.
Yeah, good job, everybody. This is a good
Good
year.
job, everyone.
This is a fun year for movies. A lot of horror movies, eh? A lot of
Yeah, horror's popular. I
Yeah.
feel like horror is doing what superhero movies used to do.
Agreed.
Is people like to get scared.
Agreed. No, it's fun. This is a fun one.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. This was a fun year. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Till next time.
Till next year.
Yeah. Till next year. Till
Woo!
25 to 25. Ashley's
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.